Cooking? We're tired of sorta cooking. It's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. Covenant House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth, 50 years strong. Help us fight youth homelessness. Go to covenanthouse.org.
You think Rush Hour Karting is just about racing? Think again. At our Morrisville and Garner locations, you're stepping into a world of high-speed go-karts, axe throwing, golf and racing simulators, arcade challenges, and a full-service kitchen serving up serious flavor. It's where corporate events turn into bonding moments and friend nights turn legendary. This isn't just entertainment, it's serious adult fun. Visit rhkfun.com to plan your experience today.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. An increasing chance for showers and thunderstorms as we get into the late afternoon and evening. Some of those cells will produce some heavy rain. We'll see highs in the upper 80s, feeling like low to mid 90s. 73 overnight tonight. Storms taper off, but both Saturday and Sunday will bring more late day showers and storms with the potential for some heavy downpours.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 784 points to 42,182.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits! Game over! Series over! Sebastian!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday to you all. This week felt like a long one, if I'm being real. You know what's a real bummer? When the local sports teams aren't playing. And there's a lot of days between Stanley Cup final games, and it drags, but we've made it to Friday. Weekend staring us in the face. Hopefully you're having a good one. Thank you for starting your weekend if you're getting a little early jump with us here on The Drive. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show, and may we all start our weekends like Oiler fans are starting their weekends, which I can only guess is with a whole bunch of rubbing it in the face of people who doubted them. The Oilers have a new lease on life in the Stanley Cup final. You could argue that the nation of Canada has a new lease on life in the Stanley Cup final. Is there a better feeling than coming back from the dead as if you are a fan of a team and just being absolutely on death's doorstep, your team is just hanging on by a thread, then they win? Because everybody loves joking about a team that's donezo, right? Everybody loves joking about a team that has nothing left, and then you win, and you get to go flip all those receipts back in their face. I did it, by the way. I'm hand up. I literally tweeted, I guess the Oilers have no answers, huh? when they were down 3-0 in the first period. Felt pretty safe. They had just gotten railroaded the previous game, 6-1, start down 3-0. I'm like, I guess they don't have answers for the Panthers. And then they literally had the best answer you could possibly have by coming back to win the game. Leon Draisaitl, apparently the clutchest player in the history. He's just, every time there's a game-winning goal, he's like, I got one of those.
4 overtime goals this postseason.
Insane.
NHL record.
You know what? I didn't know that, but I don't think I would expect someone else to have 5, so it makes a lot of sense. Leon Draisaitl, clutch as heck.
I mean, got to bounce.
Got it, yeah.
Just one-handed backhand, just trying to send it over to Corey Perry and just goes off a guy skating in. Sometimes you got to earn those bounces.
I was going to say, isn't it crazy how the good are always lucky?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it crazy how the guys that are always in the right position have things that happen when you're in the right position happen to them? And by the way, like, there were super good looks on both sides that didn't find the back of the net. And then that's hockey, right? You just keep making good decisions. You keep making good rushes. You keep getting the puck where it needs to be, and you keep doing it, and then you play the chances. A great article I read earlier this week, and this isn't even where I was intending to go. There was an article on Alex Caruso. This is going to be like a 6 degrees of separation. Article on Alex Caruso's defense for the Thunder. It's on The Ringer. They linked to a New York Times article on Shane Battier from 2009 because they referenced it. And that led me to an interview with Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey, at the time, was the GM of the Rockets. He's bounced around. He's been a GM everywhere. He's one of the first analytics guys in basketball. And he talks a ton in this article I read that I can't even reference because I clicked links to get there, of how all of sports is just percentages. And he watches a basketball game thinking it was all about watching Kobe Bryant back in the day, where if Kobe took a non-baseline, non-3-point, non-in-the-paint shot, so if it was like an elbow jumper, his immediate thought was that is worth 3/8 the amount that a shot from any of those places he mentioned is worth. Now, if Kobe made a bunch of those, right? So there were games where he scored 40 against Daryl Morey's teams, and they were all in the mid-range, but he was like, no, we have to keep forcing him there because that's where his shots are worth the least. Same thing happens in hockey, right? You're not going to score every time you get a good chance. You're not going to score every time you get the puck on net. You're not going to score every time you get a rush with one of your better players. But that's where the percentages are highest. If you keep getting Leon Draisaitl, if you keep getting Connor McDavid, if you keep getting, on the other side, Sam Bennett, obviously, especially in the postseason, if you keep getting those guys in good positions, good things will happen, and they'll reward you. Leon Draisaitl did just that. But here's my favorite part about Leon Draisaitl. And this is where, right, I'm always looking for things to grab from championship matchups and apply them to teams that I cover and I root for. Draisaitl, second in MVP voting? Been an MVP before. He's at time. I just saw John Buccigross, who's the hockey opinion I respect a bunch. He released his all-star ballot where you pick the best player at each position. He had Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl is the best center in the league this year. Like, he's that dude. He's also the second-line center for the Oilers, because they have this other guy named Connor McDavid. And that's awesome. And I want that to be the emphasis.
Yeah, if you're Edmonton, yeah.
Exactly. For you. I'm like, looking at team building. No, I don't really care about the Oilers. I'm not saying it's awesome for us, but I'm saying that's not an issue. We're obviously going to talk a ton this offseason about what the Canes can do with all of their offseason resources. They have trade capital, they have cap space to spend on free agents. They have a lot of different avenues. They have prospects. Matter of fact, what was it? The fourth period, David Pagnotta just put out today that there's some people talking that when Mitch Marner hits the open market, if he hits the open market, which he will, the Canes are expected to go north of $14 million, or don't be surprised if the Canes go north of $14 million per year, which would be an offer to make Mitch Marner the highest paid player in the league. Because right now, Draisaitl is the highest paid in average annual value with 14. The Canes are going to be making moves, right? So we'll talk about all of that. I'm not saying I like that move or don't. I'm just saying we're going to talk about what they can do. But every time I mention they need to find a second-line center, Dennis, you're a big fan of them going after Tage Thompson.
Absolutely.
If Buffalo is selling, which I'm not sure they will be, but Tage Thompson or Sam Bennett or like all of these centers that may or may not be available. Every time you mention that you think the Canes should explore those options, somebody makes the joke that you're not looking for a second-line center. That'd be a first-line center. Aho would go to 2C, and they act like that's a real zing. And I'm going, that'd be awesome. I wish – I hope Sebastian Aho, by the way, I'm a huge Sebastian Aho fan. I think he's a star. I hope he's a third-line center because that only tells me that there are two guys that are better than Sebastian Aho on your first and second line. That's not an insult. That's a great thing. I want someone that hits .340 with 40 home runs batting 7th in my lineup because that means I have a whole bunch of better hitters before him. Good, right? That's what the Oilers have. By the way, it's not like you can just go get a McDavid and a Draisaitl, but that's the goal, right? That's the goal of your top two-line centers right there. That's the goal. Put a superstar on your second line because you have a bigger superstar on your first line, and watch what that second superstar can do. You might get a Leon Draisaitl season. And then, by the way, they can skate with each other in a bunch of situations too, right? Your power play doesn't have to be exclusive to one of them. Then you get the benefits of both. So when I'm saying go after, like I got furious a few times over the last 2 years with the Canes chatter, right? When it came to Jake Gensel contract extension, and there were a few other contract extension talks where there was this weird belief that they didn't want to go above Aho's contract. Oh, well, I don't know if you can give him more than – I'm like, no. Aho's going to negotiate his contract. If you pay the next guy more, fine, but then go ahead and expect more from that other guy. And what Aho's giving you for $975 is a ton, so if you're getting more than that, I expect more from you.
I mean, they reportedly were offering $14 million or so to Mikko Rantanen to stick around.
And I would have expected $14 million worth of value.
Yeah.
I love moving great players down the pecking order because that means you're bringing in greater players. It's like what I talk about because I always relate things back to football. It's like what I talk about with wide receivers. A good wide receiver 1 is the best wide receiver 2 in the league, right? So go get a better wide receiver 1, and now you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like that's not an issue. That's a luxury. Am I halfway to fully buying into Eric Tulsky's cliche? Until we get all 20 best players in the league on the roster, we're going to keep working? I mean, you can't tell me when you have Draisaitl, who's having a heater, by the way, and I know he didn't win MVP, he went to a goalie, but like best skater in the league this year?
Yeah.
On your second line? Yeah, that's not an issue. That's not an insult to me. That's a compliment. And then he can do things like score game-winning goals and must-win Stanley Cup final games in overtime to complete a ridiculous comeback. And you go, yeah, that makes sense. Because it just does. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm passing along a whole bunch of things that just make sense today. One of them, get a great center. 2 of them, call Maynard Service Company when you need anything for your heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. It's actually right now a great time to start thinking about cooling maintenance if you haven't done so already. I've been telling you for a while, but it's only going to get hotter, right? It's only you get the kids running around outside, everybody's sweating. You get the kids running around outside, everybody runs inside. They want their cool glass of water and a refreshing burst of air from the air conditioner. But you don't have to provide that for them. Why? Because your cooling system broke. Why? Because you didn't get it looked at by Maynard Service Company for some cooling maintenance to make sure it's all running properly. And then you have to call Maynard Service Company to get it fixed. which they'll come out do efficiently and quality and affordably. But still, you can avoid all of that with just setting up a maintenance check. So give them a call, 919-361-0993 to have your cooling system looked at. But also, in those emergency situations where something breaks, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, you want to have this number on hand. Mainer Service Company, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MainerServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we may have news of an $800,000 fish being brought to the docks over there at the Big Rock. Is that what we call it?
Oh, yeah, the Big Rock. Let's go.
There is, I've been told, a boat called the Shenandoah.
That's where I went to college. Let's go.
There you go. This could be a good omen for you.
Yes, it is.
With a marlin that they've brought in, and their estimated time of arrival at the dock was 3:15. And if it weighs in over 500 pounds, which the rumor is there's a chance, it is an $800,000 fish fry. Those fishing tournaments make absolutely no sense to me, but the electricity has to be through the roof.
Yes.
So we'll keep you updated on that if we hear anything. Our program director, Paul Highhander, is actually down the hallway listening into like the radio frequency from boat to dock and everything.
It really is a lot of fun.
So we'll keep you updated on that, and we'll give flowers and credit to a disrespected local athlete. Stick around. WakeMed Brain and Spine wants to stop strokes in their tracks. If you think someone is having a stroke, use the acronym BFAST and assess these functions. B, balance. Do they have trouble walking? E, eyes. Are they having trouble seeing? F, face. Does their smile droop? A, arms. Ask the person to raise their arms and notice if one drifts down. S, speech. Is it slurred? And T, time. It is important. Call 911 and get to the hospital as quickly as you can. To check your stroke risk assessment, visit wakemed.org.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Here we go.
NASCAR makes history on Prime as the Cup Series goes international. We're heading to Mexico City for a road course with all new challenges. 14 turns with 7,000 feet of altitude.
White flag. Next flag ends the race.
Don't miss the first ever points-paying Cup Series race in Mexico. Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Track's clear. We're good to go.
NASCAR. It's on Prime.
Triple play, triple play, triple play. 3 ways to win on every scratch-off. They're like a 3-man wrecking crew of winning potential smashing into your bare heads. Triple threats of cold, hard cash. Prizes up to $1 million. 3 times the play, 3 times the thrills, and 3 ways to win. Triple play from the North Carolina Education Lottery with triple action-packed chances to win.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.84 to 4.79. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So here's what I know about the Big Rock and what's going on with the fishing tournament out there on the east part of the state. The Shenandoah that we discussed is a boat. Start from the basics.
Let's go Hornets.
That is a boat, and they are out fishing. They've brought in a marlin. They are expected now at the dock at 3:30. Apparently, I don't know, hit some headwinds, some swells that slowed them down. They were expected at 3:15. They're now expected at 3:30. Those weigh-ins will be electric. My understanding is if it is over a 500-pound marlin, which there's a chance, which is why everyone's so excited, then that will be a minimum $800,000 fish. That's like a locked-in $800,000. More news. There was some excitement on the radio because although Michael Jordan is not physically participating this year, he does often fish in events like this and has a history at the Big Rock. His boat did hook up right before you had to have your fish on the line at 3 o'clock in order for it to count. You can fight it and reel it in as long as you need to. Had to be on the line by 3. They did hook up. It was a white marlin, and for whatever reason, they let it go. So I don't know if they didn't think it was big enough. I don't know if they weren't excited by a white marlin. They wanted a black or blue marlin. I don't know. But there was at least some catch-23 buzz on the clock there. And there's at least one boat out there that hooked up at over 3 hours ago. Now, about noon, that is still fighting. So they don't know what they're getting at, but they can fight as long as they need to past 3 o'clock. They just have to be hooked up at
that
3.
was Southern Grace.
Southern Grace. That, by the way, that is officially. I know Friday we normally do like weekend plans and stuff for our question for numbers game. Question is 100%. What is your boat name? If you bought a boat, what are you naming it?
Oh,
so get ready for that.
Maybe the Mitch Marner.
Ooh, let's talk about it. We just earlier did. First, let's take a step back. Mitch Marner, Toronto Maple Leafs young star, 2015 draft class, expected to hit free agency. Has pretty much said as much that he's going to hit free agency, but Toronto obviously can still negotiate if they want to. Free agent appears to be the crown jewel of this free agency class due to age, production, all of those things. David Pagnotta of the Fourth Period put a tweet out today. Do you have it in front of you, Dennis?
I do.
Can you go ahead and just read it for us because I don't want to misrepresent anything David is reporting.
All right, so it's about an hour ago. When/if Mitch Marner hits the open market July 1st, the expectation is the Carolina Hurricanes are going to take a massive swing to try and sign him. Sources say we shouldn't be surprised if they go above $14 million on average annual value over a 7-year term. Unrestricted free agent market opens in 18 days.
So, just to give you the basics of this one. Yeah, that would be a big swing.
That'd be a big fish to reel.
I retweeted that, and someone immediately said, like, is he really worth that? That's more than David Pasternak. And I went, not only is it more than Pasta, that is more than everybody. Right now, the contracts that are agreed upon and going into effect next year, $14 million is the highest average annual value, which is Leon Draisaitl, who we just sang a bunch of praises about after last night. So obviously worth it, right? MVP candidate perennially and all of those things. To put Mitch Marner on $14+ million per year over 7. What is I mean, that's basically 7 years, $100 million.
Yeah, that'd be $100 million over 7 years is 14.28.
Okay, so around 7 years, $100 million. First of all, big swing, big splash, all of those things. You announce that this is basically once you do that every season for the next 5 becomes Stanley Cup or bust. Like once you make a move like that with the heights that you've had over the last 6 or 7 years, it is now there's no more, oh, we're just happy to make the Eastern Conference Finals. But secondly, it really would take like a $14 million a year commitment to even make the rest of what they can do this offseason a puzzle, right? If you sign someone for $10 million, they still have so much that like the world is their oyster, right? Go crazy under the cap. You still have trade prospects or trade assets. So I guess the question is, before you entertain, and they have 18 days to figure this out, before you entertain a real $14 million per year, 7-year contract for somebody like Mitch Marner, you better have a really good plan to take care of everything else you need to take care of with the rest of your assets. So we're looking at, $28 million in cap space projected.
Roughly.
That would eat up half of it. So you'd have $14 million. You would probably need a veteran right-handed D defenseman. You'd probably still need a center.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And how you fill out the fourth line is kind of up to you. And depending on if and or when, more of the when category, like if Kotkaniemi moves on, there's other holes you need to fill with that $14 million and your tremendous amount of trade assets. I do think that would take you out of the running for some of the bigger, flashier centers that everybody's excited about, right? Because I don't see how you can give $14 million to Marner and also work into some way a $10+ million center.
If you did it via trade,
and they took Kotkaniemi or something like that,
they would have to take Kotkaniemi as part of the deal. Or there's always the option of buying him out. That is always an option, which would save you about $3.9 million on your cap for the next several seasons.
It would save you 3.9. The obvious deal is you'd also then have to get another center.
Oh yeah.
But
they have Jankowski can be your number 4 center. You have Jordan Staal can be your third. You have Aho. So you can go hard for one.
Yes. If you are comfortable with Jankowski as your everyday night in and night out fourth line center, then that's obviously a cost saving measure. Same is true with Scott Morrow. Right? If we all assume Alexander Nikishin is an everyday player next year, which he better be, if you're willing to put Scott Morrow in there, then you can significantly lower your investment in that right-handed defenseman I was talking about. That really comes down to what the internal opinion is of those guys, right? I don't think Jankowski was brought in to be an everyday player this year, but then he showed up and scored 1 billion goals in his first 7 days or 7 games, and everyone was like, you know what? Maybe we do play him more, and he made it difficult, which, by the way, is his job, right? The job of players, particularly role players, is to make it tough to bench them, and he did that. So if you're comfortable with Jankowski, that's obviously a great way to save some cash. If you're comfortable playing any of the rookies, meaning the ones from last year like Morrow, or if you're comfortable playing a Nadeau or really any of those guys coming up from the AHL, that's another way to save you money. Marner would be a big bite out of your resources, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's one you can't be wrong on.
But you have the resources.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Like I said yesterday, if you listen to the show, they can do anything. They can't do everything, which is the gift and the curse, right? Eric Tulsky right now, he can do anything. Like, there's not a player out there in the trade market that I don't think they could potentially be the high bidder for. I don't think there's anyone in the free agency market that they couldn't go potentially be the high bidder for. The difficult part is choosing which one is the right one. Amongst a lot of tantalizing options, which one is the right one? And if it's Marner, there's a good chance it'll take $14 million. I don't know if it'll take too far north of $14 million. Let's not get crazy. But the interesting part of this whole story is, let me go ahead and give the hat tip where it's necessary. At I don't even know, JW on Twitter. I was going to give him a hat tip, but their name is gibberish. So I retweeted what we talked about with the fourth period about, oh, look at this. The Canes are expected to potentially break the bank for Marner. And they just wrote, where have we seen this before? And they linked to a Bleacher Report article from, let me see how many days, June 9th, 4 days ago, where the headline is, Mitch Marner reportedly linked to Ducks. Contract could top $14 million average annual value in NHL free agency. Darn near the exact headline that today is being said about the Canes and Mitch Marner, which, and I know we're overshooting our break here a little bit, but it's cool. Which does lead me to one of my favorite things of free agency. Anytime there's a leak, consider the source. Right? Anytime there's a leak and it's not with a name on it, it's not like so-and-so's GM said or so-and-so player said. If it's just like, league sources say, consider who it benefits, because that's usually who's saying it. If there's every couple days another team linked to making Mitch Marner the highest paid player in NHL history on a per-year value, chances are that's somebody from Mitch Marner's side of things that's pumping those numbers out because they want to see that happen. Right? If the Ducks are going to pay him 14 and the Canes are going to go north of 14, then we better come in at 14.5. That's the goal of the agent, right? Or the agent or the somebody on that side of the aisle. Would you do it? If right now Mitch Marner calls you up, this is really what it all comes down to. I think we've painted the picture well. Mitch Marner's agent calls you up first day of free agency, says 7 years, 14.1. We'll sign right now.
Yeah.
You're doing it?
Yeah. Because he can actually, believe it or not, with all the points and stuff that he puts up, he can actually play defensively.
He does fit as a Cane.
Oh, yeah. He definitely does. His profile fits well as a Cane.
If I'm not mistaken, he's 7th in Selke voting this year?
Yeah, he was top 10.
Yeah.
He was. And something to keep in mind as well, you could still make a move. I've said I've been big on Tage Thompson of Buffalo. He's a center. He's 1, right-handed. 2, center, which is obviously what they need. 3, he could score. And B, he's a big dude. He's a massive human being. Checks all those boxes that Carolina needs in their top 6, and he's only comes in at a cap hit of $7.1 million. So yeah, you can sign Mitch Marner for $14.2, take up half of the cap that's available, and still go make a trade for Tage Thompson, and you're still sitting pretty.
That would leave you with, assuming nobody like
no current player goes,
is assuming nobody leaves, that frees up more cap space. That would leave you with 6.
Yeah.
There's
7.
And you probably want to keep 3 or 4 for deadline moves if possible. But you can do a lot with that.
Oh yeah.
And you can send down Morrow, save some money. There's some other ways, or make Morrow an everyday player and save some money. There's ways to go about it. As far as like pipe dreams, if you tell me they get Marner and Thompson and still have room to do other things, I know I've been championing, like, I want Jason Robertson. I will go, who wanted Jason Robertson when this was on the table? Like, there are more than one good avenue through more than one, like, solid path through free agency and through trades to upgrade this roster, which is, I think, really the sole goal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a Dean's List. I will keep you updated on the Big Rock as we get updates, and I'll keep you updated on the U.S. Open as we get updates. A lot to update you on. Stick around.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Now that it's hot outside, everybody's spending more time outside. I have noticed that there are people that have gutter issues, whether there's stuff still stuck up there or a gutter hanging off the house. You can help.
Absolutely, Adam. And let me tell you this. If you're looking up and it looks like a garden in your gutters, you need to call the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. We have the gutter helmet, which will keep you from cleaning out the inside of your gutters for as long as you own the home. We can also replace the existing gutters. We can replace any rotten wood. We're a one-stop shop company that can take care of all your home improvement needs, whether it's gutters, windows, siding, doors, roofing. We really can turnkey the whole project and make an easy, comfortable payment through some of our 12-month interest-free financing options, and then you get a lifetime warranty at the end of it all.
12 months interest-free?
You heard that right.
12 months interest-free. AluminumCompany.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh. Did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Do you have a wedding anniversary coming up? Don't just mark the day. Make it unforgettable with Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Shop their exquisite selection of designer jewelry or consider upgrading your original engagement ring with the diamond she really deserves. Whether this is the 1st or 31st anniversary, celebrate your love with something special, wrapped in a black and white striped box from Bailey's. Voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the Coast. Every woman wants a Bailey box. Visit us today in store or at BaileyBox.com.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. There we go. We do have an update on the Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament. The fish that was anxiously being awaited for at the docks to weigh in off the boat known as the Shenandoah, the Marlin, that if it was over 500 pounds would have come with an $800,000 value, locked in, guaranteed. But it weighed in at 304 pounds. That's...
Bruh. Come on.
Come
on, Shenandoah.
That doesn't seem as exciting as maybe it was built up to be. But hey, you're right. When you think a fish could potentially make you $800K, maybe you look at 300 pounds and go, that thing is 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You almost talk yourself into it. So they came up. I mean, I think it's 400 pounds even to like register for leaderboards and stuff with the Marlin. So they had nothing but a really exciting, very fast drive back to the docks, thinking there was going to be something big.
Bank Walker still leads it with 449.7 pounds.
449.7 pounds is the leader. There is at least one. The Southern Grace is still hooked up, and they have been on a fish for hours now, hooked up around noon. And they can fight that fish and reel it and do whatever they got to do to get it in the boat or basically catch it as long as they need to. But nobody can link up on a fish after 3 o'clock. They will start again tomorrow. Do you know what the underrated, and we'll get to our Dean's List and everything else. Do you know what underrated would be like the most nerve-wracking thing in the world?
What's that?
Having the biggest fish on the leaderboard like day one of one of these tournaments. And, I mean, do you keep going fishing or do you just sit on the dock and prey on everyone else's downfall and hope for, like, just rough seas? Like, what do you do?
I mean, it's happened before where, like, the first blue marlin that's brought in has been over 500 pounds and wins the whole thing.
And I'm saying the period between watching that weigh in and, like, the final buzzer, especially because once the final buzzer sounds, fish that are still on the line can still come in. Goodness gracious. And like, the winner is oftentimes in the multiple millions. That has to be just, rough on your stress levels Imagine if, like, the Super Bowl, you score a touchdown on, like, a Thursday. And you're like, all right, by Sunday, this might be enough. We'll see if anyone else can score a longer touchdown by Sunday. Hopefully my 67-yarder is going to be the best. And you just wait it out. You just sit around. Like, that's insane. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll keep you updated. I promise you we will. Fighting a fish for hours. We're going to have like a whole show. And there was Southern Grace still hooked up, still out there reeling. It's going to be a good time. Let's go ahead and fire up the Dean's List. We'll start with the third thing that we have to update you on today. There is College Baseball World Series action going on from Omaha. Arizona and Coastal, 2-2, bottom of the fifth. Runner on first. Who's the Coastal's hitting? Somewhere, my dad is excited. I've used this example a few times. My dad, when we've moved around a ton, he's lived in more states. Him and my mom, I've lived in 9. I think they're up at 10 or 12 states they've lived in. They lived in Myrtle Beach for a while. And when my dad moves somewhere, he adopts one of the local teams and just gets really invested. Coastal Carolina baseball was his thing. He was obviously stoked in whatever it was, 2016 when they won a championship. They're looking to do it again, shock the world. If Murray State wasn't in the College Baseball World Series, Coastal would be getting a lot more love because they'd be the kind of scrappy underdogs, as much as they don't want to believe they are. But Murray State is the scrappy underdogs. You know what? Dean's List, one more time, shout out for Murray State baseball. We talked about it yesterday. They might be in the Dean's List. I know they beat Duke, and it's not cool to root against local, but once they beat Duke, I mean, they're not playing the same resource game as these other teams in Omaha. We talked about it yesterday. The lowest paid coach of any of the 7 other teams in Omaha is $402,000. They go up to about $1.8 million for the LSU coach. Murray State's making $68K. They're up there. That's pretty darn cool. So, shout out to Coastal. Shout out to Murray State. Shout out to Louisville because like my brain and everything is saying go ACC. Need the ACC to keep showing up. So, go Louisville. Do you have a Dean's List member you'd like to throw out there, Dennis?
I do.
Let's hear it.
UNC baseball pitcher Jake Knapp.
Oh, is he getting more awards?
Yeah, just another National Pitcher of the Year award.
Deserved.
Yeah, he was a stud. So, yeah, he was actually named by the College Baseball Foundation their National Pitcher of the Year, the organization announced today. So, shout out Jake Knapp, ACC. I'm sorry, not an ACC guy, but UNC.
He was ACC Pitcher of the Year. He, I believe, led the country in wins. He's one of the only guys, and you know, I'm self-conscious about this because we've kind of done it. We had Darren Vaught on the show not long ago. USA Baseball. He hosts the ACC Baseball Etc. podcast, and he described fans. He called them parachute fans that just show up at like the end of regionals to root on teams. And as he was saying it, I was interviewing him going like, our show is definitely a parachute fan. We definitely paid way more attention to Stanley Cup playoffs, and we parachuted in for the postseason, and I hope he doesn't notice. But Jake Knapp is one of the few that we did not parachute in for because he had been on the Dean's List 4 or 5 times throughout the season for different exceptional performances and different league-leading things that he had done. So Jake Knapp, we're not just parachute bandwagon fans. We've been rocking with Jake for a while. I'm going to throw this one out there. In you know what, John Shire and whoever creates Duke's non-conference schedule. The ACC-SEC challenge came out a couple days ago, and this isn't their choice, right? The ACC schedules that, but Duke was given Florida, the defending national champion, and a couple articles came out, and the headlines all were Florida added to Duke's gauntlet of a non-conference schedule. Duke's insane non-conference schedule gets even more difficult with Florida. Like whatever those headlines were, there were like 10 of them. So I clicked on one of them. Are you ready to hear Duke's non-conference schedule?
Yes.
Because we've updated you like, oh, they scheduled this game. Oh, they scheduled this game. Oh, this is the Dick Vitale Invitational. But we haven't set them all together. And it's aggressive. They have a road game, straight road game at Michigan State. They have the SEC Challenge hosting Florida. They have neutral site games against Texas, Kansas, Arkansas, Texas Tech, and Michigan. That's pretty smooth 7 quad 1 opportunities there. I mean, if one of them completely falls off, you get 6 quad 1 opportunities.
I know it's a quad 2 now.
Yeah, and what are they going to do? That is A, like ambitious, but B, it does insulate you a bit against if the ACC has another really down year. And Duke is obviously interested in doing that. They're interested in making sure that even if the ACC is down, they still have a chance for a 1 seed and everything else. So that's a gauntlet. And then just to throw this in there, they do have maybe a less scary non-conference game. I love what they do with their less scary non-conference games. At Army, which is like you expect to win that one by 40, but that's an experience for college athletes that's awesome anyway, right? To play at one of the service academies and honor them that way. That's just a really cool way to like spice up. Instead of playing a directional Michigan school and beating them by 80, you go to Army, you get an experience out of it, and you'd expect to win.
I know Coach K would schedule Army often, obviously him being a West Point graduate himself. So Duke and Army play each other quite frequently in basketball.
A lot of that is coming to Cameron.
Yes,
this is going to Army,
which is cool.
It's just a different, like the basketball. Obviously, you'd expect similar, right? Like I don't know if at Army it's like, the line moves three points on the road, so it'll go from 31 to 28, like it is whatever it ends up being. But away from the basketball, that just makes it a cooler experience. And last Dean's List member here. We haven't done this yet, but I want to get in before the weekend. I don't know when his official last day is. But shout out to Nick Stevens, one of our colleagues here in the building for Capital Broadcasting, and also he basically invented, the way it's been told to me, High School OT, the website that we run as I say we, I don't do much for it, that our company runs, called High School OT, and it has become the place for high school coverage across the state, high school sports. And Nick had a lot to do with building that, and he's leaving it in good hands with the other guys down the hall. But Nick Stevens moving on, leaving the company, going to work for kind of more hands-on, building up the. I don't know if we got to hype up his next spot, but he's going to work hands-on, still in the high school sports world. Building up that part that he's become so passionate about. But I'm a huge proponent of every bit of coverage that goes towards high school sports. I think families love it, right?
Oh, of course.
Seeing their cousins, grandsons, granddaughters, sons, daughters' name in articles and things, like that's really, really cool. It's cool for the kids, which is what it's all about. And it's just flat out interesting. There's a lot of cool stories to tell in the high school world.
When I first started working here, about to hit 10 years, I actually did a lot of work with Nick in High School OT, doing some play-by-play, also just going and covering football games and things along those lines. So I did a lot of stuff with High School OT when I first started here 10 years ago and working directly with Nick.
And then you might be better off.
And Joel and Evan, yeah.
The way it's been told to me is he basically invented all of that. Like the genesis of what's like his brain waves.
Yes, everything you see with High School OT now is, all started really with Nick.
I think he might have one more week here before he bounces officially. I don't know how much time he'll be around. If he's kicking around, we'll get him on the show just because we'll do a good Remember When segment where it's like, all right, give us the stories of all the NFL players you saw on like a JV football field.
He's got
a bunch of those
for days. Seeing guys like Dexter Lawrence, Bryce Love, there's a whole bunch of guys.
I saw this NFL defensive end when he was a running back, and like all that kind of stuff. So we'll do that if we can make it happen. But shout out to Nick. Give him a follow on Twitter and check out High School OT, because even though he's leaving, like his legacy is that site and the coverage they do. Just want to give him a little Dean's List update there. Let's go ahead and dismiss the Dean's List. We should call today's show just like updates and more updates.
Yeah.
Right now, listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the U.S. Open. Here's the current leaderboard presented by Wilson Country Club. The top 3 on the leaderboard are J.J. Spawn, still hitting. Tied for first with Thriston Lawrence. They are 4 under. Spawn is even through 8 today. Lawrence 1 under par through 2. So they both still have a lot of golf to play today. Sam Burns had a great day to finish alone in third, 3 under par. He went 5 under on the day. On a day where some of the best golfers we know, Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, let's see here, Jordan Spieth are all at least 5 over. John Rahm, 5 over. And they're all in the clubhouse. Brooks Koepka had a good first day. He's actually tied for 12th. Went 4 over today. So when that's happening, Sam Burns goes 5 under. You know he had a really good day. So those are the top 3. J.J. Spawn and Thriston Lawrence tied for first. Sam Burns worked his way into third. As far as other notable names, former UNC golfer, Raleigh native Ben Griffin, 1 under through 7. He is alone in fourth. If he keeps it up and stays in that top 5 area, could legitimately be a life-changing and career-changing weekend for him and run. He's on, the hot streak that he's been on the last month and a half has been unreal. Victor Hovland tied for 5th. He was 2 under on the day, so he's in the clubhouse at 1 under on the tournament. Brooks Koepka, as I mentioned, did not have a good day, 4 over, but with so much carnage elsewhere on the course, he's still in the top 15, tied for 12th. Phil Mickelson tied for 19th in the top 20, 1 under par on the day, just through 5. A lot of golf to play, but 3 over on the tournament. And then, like the carnage is starting to heat up. Patrick Cantlay, 2 over, just through 6, but he's well outside the cut line. Rory McIlroy is 4 over through 6, plus 8 on the tourney, outside the cut line, tied for 88th. Bryson DeChambeau, 3 over through 7. He's on-ish the cut line, tied for 63. So there's a lot of carnage out there on the course. Oakmont is living up to its reputation as one of, if not the hardest course that the tour visits for major championships. That is our U.S. Open Championship update on 99.9 The Fan. All of our championship updates on 99.9 The Fan are teed up by Wilson Country Club. Experience the history of this must-play course. NBA Finals are going on this weekend. There's a Game 4 tonight between the Pacers, who lead 2-1 over the Thunder, and obviously the Thunder will be their opponent.
You can hear it on The Fan, by the way, tonight.
You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. A little update there. It's all about updates today. I've been comparing Halliburton and Aho because I think the kind of narrative or the chatter around those two guys is similar to what Aho faces in the postseason every year and what Halliburton is going through. Granted, Halliburton now has his team ahead in the finals, which is air that Aho hasn't quite reached. Let me ask you this. If we acknowledge that these guys aren't going to change, okay? Like Halliburton, if the right play is pass, it's pass. If Aho, if the right play is passes, he's going to pass. He's never going to be that selfish black hole, I'm getting my goals regardless player, just like Halliburton's probably never going to average 30. Can I ask for a little bit more personality bite? Because that might be the difference. Halliburton, I don't know if you saw the post-game presser after Game 3, where he called out the media for some narratives around them, and it certainly seemed like he was specifically referencing Stephen A. Smith, although he never actually said his name. And then Stephen A. Smith took it very personally and has now started a personal beef with Halliburton, saying, like, better players than you have tried to come after Stephen A. Smith, and look how that goes, I guess.
This is my shocked voice?
Yes. But Halliburton, and they even like the overrate this stuff, because the Athletic ran the anonymous player poll, and Halliburton was picked as the most overrated player in the league. And then Halliburton, after really good games and really good stretches, started saying, like, overrate that and overrate this. I think that might be the difference, right? Is even though they're both, I don't want to say passive with their play style, they're just both not the traditional superstar with their play style, right? They're not the most selfish, most I need to be the one getting the glory, I need to be the one scoring the goals, I need to be the one scoring the points. They are maybe different in personality a bit, where Halliburton embraces the disrespect and kind of uses that as fuel, and Aho kind of plays with more of the I don't hear it, I don't know. I'm looking for reason. Like, here's the pretzel I am in, and you guys probably hear me talk about it. Go, all right, this dude is lost. Here's the pretzel I'm in. I look at Halliburton, I look at Aho, and I feel like I'm looking in a different sport mirror. I think they're very, very similar. Yet Halliburton has made it the step that Aho has had such a hard time making it. And I'm asking myself why, and I'm struggling to find the reason, struggling to find out how. Could it be luck? Sure. Like, don't get me wrong. Halliburton is shooting like basically J.J. Redick free throw line percentage on like tough contested buzzer-beating threes to win the game this postseason. Like, could that just be he's on an unreal heater, right? Like, sometimes you just put all your money on red at the roulette table and you win 6 times in a row, right? All the books say it shouldn't happen, but people make money, right? It does occasionally. That might be what Halliburton's on, but there's something about him that makes it just a little bit more oomph when you get to the games where you kind of got to have it, and I want this run that Halliburton is on for Aho. I think that would shut a lot of people up, and I want that for Aho, and I'm trying to see where the different edge is, and it's hard to see. Halliburton's been really good. He also has appropriately let other members of his team shine, and they've done a really good job stepping up, right? Things like Benedict Matherin's 27 points in Game 3. That was kind of the difference. T.J. McConnell coming off the bench, changing the game. It's kind of the difference. Maybe that's it. Aho just needs a Matherin, right? He needed the one game against the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals, like Game 2. He just needed a 2 goals from, I don't even know who the Matherin example would be, 2 goals from Martinook or something. Just that one to get him rolling, and then he could take it from there. I don't know. But Halliburton's having a lot of opportunities to rub it in the face of his naysayers. If he wins that NBA Finals, which they're up 2-1. Thunder are still favored by most sports books, but I would expect Stephen A. would get a piece of Tyrese Halliburton's mind.
Huh.
And potentially a piece of Tyrese Halliburton's dad's mind, because he's also part of this.
So I missed what Halliburton was referring to the other day in his post-game presser regarding media rumors and stuff. Obviously, whatever Stephen A. took
basically
umbrage to.
Stephen A. does, ready for this? Like in the NBA, superstar is the word like elite is to quarterbacks, right? Like he's good, but he's not elite. Stephen A. doesn't think Halliburton's a superstar.
What?
And aggregators did take that headline and write 9,000 articles about it. And obviously it got to Halliburton. And then he went out there and took a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals and was like, yeah, those talking heads on major networks, didn't say the name, but they don't know basketball. And so Stephen A. took that personally. He fired back. There's a whole thing. I don't want to report on the drama, but my point is Halliburton obviously used that as some form of motivation and some form of that got him angry out there. And occasionally that is all I want from Aho. Like just remember what somebody said once and then go get angry about it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, we have football at 4. Looking at the offseason, are we over, underreacting? We'll put everything through the test coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Does Josh Allen need to repeat as MVP for the Bills to get to the Super Bowl, Smalls?
No, he has been great in the postseason and played Patrick Mahomes really tough in years that he didn't win the MVP. I think he certainly needs to continue playing at the level that he's been playing at, but I don't think he necessarily needs to be the best player in the NFL in order for them to break through.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a hockey champion, and when I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Celebrate 50 years of adventure at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Enjoy award-winning performances and European-inspired attractions. Feel the excitement of thrilling rides like the all-new Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, now open. And seasonal events like the Food and Wine Festival, where you can taste, sip, and savor more than 150 flavors from around the world, featuring over 80 new menu items. Only at the world's most beautiful theme park. Get limited time deals at buschgardens.com.
Out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. An increasing chance for showers and thunderstorms as we get into the late afternoon and evening. Some of those cells will produce some heavy rain. We'll see highs in the upper 80s, feeling like low to mid 90s. 73 overnight tonight. Storms taper off, but both Saturday and Sunday will bring more late day showers and storms with the potential for some heavy downpours.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 769 points to 42,198.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It may not seem like it, but the NFL offseason's kind of over. I mean, I know it's a 12-month, 365 days a year league now, but there's really nothing tangible outside of a couple free agents that may sign. There's really nothing tangible that's going to happen between now and training camp, right? The draft, free agency, mini camps, the rookie mini camps, the OTAs, like all of this stuff has kind of been wrapped up. Players get a little over a month to go, get familiar with their families and hit a vacation or two, and then they're back and they go into the submarine that is the season. So, A, start getting excited because it's darn near football season. But B, how'd the Panthers do? Right? With everything tangible happening, how did they do? And more importantly, are the talking points that have come out of the Panthers facility, are they overreactions, underreactions? I guess we could throw a properly reactions out there as well. We're gonna play that game on a Friday. I asked Dennis to come up with the talking points, the reactions that we've heard most from the Panthers kind of situation, and we'll decide whether they are overreactions, underreactions, or if they're just the correct reactions.
Okay, let's go right into the wide receiver group. Jalen Coker might not make the 53-man roster. Overreaction or underreaction?
I think that he might not. I think that's an overreaction. I think he's going to make the team.
He should.
I think it's The messed up part is that the conversation does have to happen, just because of investment, right? Actually, I don't even want to say that. They have a good problem, which is they trust probably 6 or 7 guys, and there's probably only 6 spots. So probably, Hunter Renfroe is a great problem to have in that you took a absolute no-risk chance on a guy who might be something. If he turns into something, then you have the problem you're going to have to cut somebody you weren't planning on cutting. I don't think Coker ends up being that guy. I think he showed enough as a young player last year with really no help that you want to see what he does this year. That's the part about Coker that I want to emphasize. The coaches have to be excited with when you're an undrafted rookie free agent, you're low man on the totem pole, right? You are not anything you get, you're getting on your own, right? You're staying after to get catches. You're not the one getting all of the one-on-one attention, and he was still pretty good. So if you treat him like an active roster guy for an entire training camp and for the first part of the season, right? He only played 11 games last year, only started 4, and still had almost 500 yards. So there is that curiosity of what could this guy be like if we actually make him part of the plan, rather than what can he be when we're working with the guys who are part of the plan and he's just eavesdropping and trying to apply it to himself as best he could. So I think he makes the roster. I think it's messed up that he's going to have to sweat out making the roster, but I think he's going to have to sweat out making the roster. Like, anyone that's watched HBO Hard Knocks, the Grim Reaper day when people are going around knocking on doors, right? Grab your playbook, coach wants to see you. Only now it's grab your iPad, coach wants to see you. He's definitely going to have his headphones on going I don't hear the knock. He's going to be sweating out that day, but I think he makes it.
All right, next one here. The Carolina Panthers have a 10-sack player on their roster this year. Overreaction or underreaction?
They have a 10-sack player?
Yeah. A double-digit sack player on their roster this year.
That's probably an overreaction. It's 10 sacks to me is kind of like 1,000 receiving yards or 4,000 passing yards. Something that, because the all-time greats do it year and year and year and year, we think it's easier than it is. Or something like 35 home runs in baseball, right?
Like 1,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, it's like, no, actually, that's tough to do. So you have a rookie. I almost don't even want to have this conversation, because if Princely Umanmielen, their third-round rookie, if he has 7.5, I want to make sure we're throwing a parade. I want to make sure
that'd be great.
I want to make sure we're excited and not, this team doesn't have a 10-sack guy. It's like, well, give him a couple years, right? I think, with a little bit more time, yeah, he could be that, and with a little bit more centering as far as playing time. If Nick Scorton has 8, I want to be throwing a parade. I don't even know who the best one of the rookies could, but you never want to, high ceiling, low floor guys. Is Pat Jones? Is he a 10-sack guy? I don't know. Is Turk Wharton? What did he have? 8.5 last year for the Chiefs. But the Chiefs had the 4th best defense in the league, and they had Chris Jones, and they had a little bit more of an accomplished pass rush around him. And also, they were the Chiefs, so they were in the games where the Chiefs were ahead or they were close, and the other team had to pass. Just to get to 10 sacks, you probably need to be ahead in a bunch of games, which would be a whole other good piece of news for the Carolina Panthers. If there's enough pass rushing downs, that means you're getting to third down with a lead, right? Those are things that are outside of the pass rusher's control. So, I don't think they have a 10-sack guy, but I do think that the pass rush is better this year. And actually, I don't know why I focus so much on the rookies. If Derek Brown has 6.5, I want to throw a parade.
That'd be awesome.
I want to throw a parade. So I don't want to set 10 as a threshold, because A, it's really hard, and B, I think significantly less is awesome for some of these guys. So, no, I don't think they have a 10-sack guy.
Okay.
I hope they do.
I would love if they had that. All right, next one here. Overreaction or underreaction that the Carolina Panthers will push for a division title this season?
Okay, what does push for a division title mean?
I would say be in contention the last 2 weeks of the season. They're okay, mathematically within it. Let's say in the month of December, they have a mathematical chance. Is that an overreaction or an underreaction? Again, mathematical chance.
They will I think is an overreaction. They could. And the other thing that we need to point out here is the way their schedule is set up. I feel like Kevin Hart stand-up, like the way my bank account's set up, it takes 3 to 5 business days if we go from savings to checking. The way their schedule is set up, they have 3 division games in the last 4 games of the year.
Yeah.
They have a week 14 bye, which is late.
Real late.
And then they have 4 games, 3 of which are divisional games back like that last month of the season. So to be mathematically eligible, there's still a lot of division games to be played. I think it's possible they are, but I'm not ready. Like they will I think their floor is still pretty darn low, which is like rightfully so. They're picking in the top 10 this year, right? And they're still playing a quarterback that is, while showing a lot of signs of life, is definitely far from a sure thing. So I'd say the floor is still low. Saying they will be contending for a division is probably an overreaction. Possibly if things break their way, they could be. I'd be okay with that, but that's not a very that's pretty lukewarm of a prediction. You'd be like, well, possibly if this goes well and the other team struggles and Michael Penix has a few growing pains, then maybe, and Baker Mayfield's gonna have to take a step back. But also the way the schedule works out, you finish on a heater, you might catch some people from behind.
All right, final one here. Overreaction, underreaction. Bryce Young will throw for 3,500 yards this season. Overreaction or underreaction?
I think that's a good number. I'll give you credit on that. What is 35? Let me do a quick bit of math. 35 divided by 17. So we're
about
looking
200 and change.
Yeah, 206 yards a game if he plays every game.
Assuming.
Which, I mean,
well, if he gets benched, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he should. If he plays in every game, barring injury, 225 is not asking too much.
No.
Especially with the addition of Teteroa McMillan. And I would say they need to have more pass catching out of the backfield this year than they've had in the past. That's when Dave Canales' offense is working best. There's a lot of creative touches for everybody, and those are a lot of, I call them free passing yards. Right, you throw it 2 yards, you get 10 yards of passing. That's significant. So yes, that's not an overreaction. Going over 3,500 yards is not an overreaction, barring injury. Right? It's if you get hurt, it becomes really, really difficult. But there's the reason why I always bring up 4,000 yards passing is the threshold. One of the crazier stats ever. Do you know the Chicago Bears have never had a 4,000 yard passer?
Really?
Ever. Jay Cutler was there for 6, 7, 8 years, not once.
Interesting.
And Cutler was obviously throwing. There were seasons where he was throwing for more than 206 yards a game, but it was an availability thing, right? Josh McCown would go in there and start 7 games because Cutler got hurt, or he'd have the knee thing or whatever he had going on. And then Trubisky never did it. We can go on and on. Orton never did it. Rex Grossman never did it. So. It's one of those things that it feels like, you hear 206 yards per game gets you to 35. So what's 4,000? 225, 230, 240, something like that. That's not that many yards. It's just hard to do that and stay healthy over all 17 games. Used to be 16, obviously. So it's not an exaggeration. It's not an overreaction to say 3,500, but I do think that's a good number. I think there's chances it goes under that as well.
So players that were over 3,500 yards last year, Kirk Cousins, who didn't even play the last few games of the season. Caleb Williams last year was over 3,500. Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Bo Nix, Kyler Murray. Now you start getting other guys, like the Justin Herberts, Lamar Jacksons, and those kinds of guys, Sam Darnold. Geno Smith threw for over 4,300 yards last season. And I'm saying that the number 1 overall pick from 2 years ago should be able to get over 3,500 yards.
If Bryce Young plays like those guys you mentioned, excited. Excited. Jaden Daniels was one of the best rookies we've seen. Caleb Williams, maybe that was probably more about just volume. He played every game and threw a lot, but he took a lot of sacks as well. But yes, I agree that when you draft someone first overall, you don't expect to be 2 years later going, overreaction, he could throw for 3,500 yards. But you have to take into account the last 2 years, right? It hasn't been pretty. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was a little football at 4. Before we get to our ladder challenge, another U.S. Open update and more, Dennis Cox has something for you.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One thing that we always love about sports is being part of a community. You know, whether your fandom is your favorite hockey team, football team, college, whatever it might be. We're all part of a community when we're fans of a team. And being part of a community means you have people that support you in one way or another, even if you don't know them entirely, but they're there for you when you need them. And that's where Law Tigers comes in if you're a motorcycle rider. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, you got to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. And the Law Tigers, the reason why they're part of the motorcycle riding community is because they're riders too. They're part of the motorcycle riding community, and they're there to help you if you're injured in an accident. That's why your case evaluation with them is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So that's why you got to give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We did update the U.S. Open earlier, and we will again when we come back. But we also have to update the carnage on the course. There is at least one golfer plus 35. Oakmont's taking names. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
It's been a while, but the Carolina Hurricanes won't have to figure out in free agency how to spend the money, but what to spend the money for. Unlike us common folk who probably have to use coupons, General Manager Eric Tulsky will have a different challenge. He's probably going to have to pay over sticker price to build a Stanley Cup winner.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Here we go.
NASCAR makes history on Prime as the Cup Series goes international. We're heading to Mexico City for a road course with all new challenges. 14 turns with 7,000 feet of altitude.
White flag. Next flag ends the race.
Don't miss the first ever points-paying Cup Series race in Mexico. Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Track's clear. We're good to go.
NASCAR. It's on Prime.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So, Southern Grace and the Big Rock Marlin Tournament Championship. I forget what the official name is. But updating you on the Big Rock. Southern Grace hooked up on a fish over 4 hours ago.
Yeah, 12:06 p.m.
They are still fighting. They are still fighting the good fight out there on the ocean. The way the tournament works is they blow the buzzer, right? They stop everybody at 3. You can't hook up any new fish. The line's in. But if you are actively reeling in, fighting a fish, you get to continue to do so. So this could go on as long as they need to. But the boat Southern Grace obviously hooked it up well before 3 o'clock, right around noon, and they're still out there fighting. So we'll see. We'll see what it is. I don't know. Do they have any idea what type of fish it is? Have they gotten eyes on it at all? I don't even know. But my guess is if you've been fighting this long, it's something big, it's something powerful, and they'll be mighty excited if and or when they get control of that thing. Could be literal millions of dollars. Yeah. Have I told the story here about the JV coach at my high school? No. Okay, so there's similar to the Big Rock. By the way, I have the official word here. Big Rock Blue Marlin Tournament. I went to my last 2 years of high school in Ocean City, Maryland, where they have the White Marlin Open, which is a similar deal. Okay. There was a couple years after I graduated high school, I was back in town. It was a summer weekend or whatever. My grandparents lived in the area, and I was using my high school to work out. The White Marlin Open was the previous weekend. And a JV high school football coach, shout out, actually, I don't even know if I want to say his name here because you'll see why. I don't know if people want to know this about people. But he was like I think a middle school teacher, and he was a JV football coach. And he was the angler. Like, he was the one on the fishing rod that won the White Marlin Open, and I believe the fish was somewhere in the $2 million range. Like, it brought in $2 million of prize money. Granted, I don't know, a certain percentage of that goes to the boat, certain percentage goes to the captain. You tip out everybody else on the boat. I think the rumor was he walked away with about $1 million. The JV football coach walked away with $1 million. And say that tournament ended on a Saturday. Monday morning, I go in to use the weight room because I was in college and I went and had to get a workout in. And he was there sitting at the front of the front of the weight room, checking in JV football players that showed up to a summer workout. Like, right, all right, so-and-so has been here all summer. Right, they were doing that. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, everybody was talking about you won the White Marlin Open. Was that like a wives' tale? Was that a rumor? Like, what's going on? He's like, no, I won. I was like, they said that your fish was like millions of dollars. He's like, yeah. Yep, I got a nice check over the weekend. I was like, what in the heck are you doing here? Why is it 8 a.m. on a Monday in the summer? You just won 7 figures, and you're sitting here in a sweaty gym marking in bratty ninth graders that are here to do incline bench of 115 pounds.
It's like, oh, yeah, cool. Timmy's here. Congrats. Why are you here?
Yeah, and he was legit. He legitimately was like, it's not, the type of money that I can retire on for the rest of my life, and I just want to keep my routine. I was like, take 10 grand, go to Vegas. Take 10 grand, go to Atlantic City, do something. He was just like, people say money changes you. Not that guy. Did not change him at all. And I believe like the next couple of years he went out and kept fishing, and, kept trying to win the White Marlin Open, but I don't know, paid off his house probably, maybe bought a car, put the rest in retirement. Probably what most people should do in that situation. But I'll never forget him going like, yeah, got a good check. I'm like, a good check? A good check is I hit a scratcher for $80. A good check is not $1 million in a fishing tournament. By the way, the boat Bankwalker is the leader in the clubhouse as we sit. 449-pound Blue Marlin. Yesterday, they got it in the boat at 8:57 p.m. So they had a nice little fight there as well. Lizzie Montague was the angler on that one. All right, now from one competition with super high stakes to another competition with super high stakes, let's head to the ladder challenge. The stakes on this one are the tiny bits of money that we put up in our gambling, and where the trophy gets to live, either in the producer's studio or with me in the host studio. Every month it can change. It is a "What have you done for me lately" trophy. For the month of May, it was Dennis, so it's there until I can win it at the end of June. I can tell you this: I had the Oilers to win in regulation yesterday, so I'm back down at $10. But with the rules being changed for the summer months, I can come back quickly. I'm not worried about it. Dennis, how was last night for you?
So I just needed Connor McDavid to have 2 shots on goal, and he had 4, which was wonderful. So I actually am up to $73.67 now.
All right. You are the leader. I'm back down to $10, so go ahead and lead off.
I'm going to hockey tomorrow. I'm taking my $73.67, Tim. I'm going over 5.5 goals combined between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers tomorrow. Game 5 up in Edmonton. Over 5.5 goals scored. My $73.67 will turn into $121.19. It's a minus 110 bet.
Okay, so
sorry, minus 155. My apologies.
So here was my plan here. We don't get to judge each other's, like, I don't know his bet before I place my bet. But I did. What was it last time you went like minus 900 or something, right?
Yeah, I did go minus 900.
So I assumed your strategy was to play prevent defense and try to run out the clock. You got a decent sized lead, so I'm thinking I'm going to make it all up in one fell swoop. If I knew you were going to go minus 155, I wouldn't have been as aggressive. But with that being said, Brad Marchand, first goal scorer tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
Plus 1,800. That'll turn my $10 into 190. So I'm trying to make up the whole gap and then some in one fell swoop.
Okay.
He does have 4 goals in the series, but Game 4 was the first time he was held scoreless, and he's been good on the road, right? So there's, I don't know. I'm just talking now. Brad Marchand, first goal scorer. Give me Brad Marchand, the rat that he is, and it's a little bit of an emotional hedge, right? If Florida scores first and it's Marchand, instead of going like, oh, that rat. Instead, I go, hey, there's
my guy.
There's $180 of winnings coming my way. So there you go. That's a ladder challenge for today. We'll be by Monday about halfway through the month. So we are hitting the middle portion of things. That's a ladder challenge. Let's go ahead and move on. Listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the U.S. Open. Here's the current leaderboard presented by Wilson Country Club. We've been doing these U.S. Open updates every hour starting yesterday. This is, I believe, the first time J.J. Spawn has not been at least tied for the lead during one of our updates. Tristan Lawrence has taken the lead. He is 2 under through 5. J.J. Spawn gave one back. He is even through 11. So Lawrence, 5 under par on the tourney, alone in first. I said it yesterday. Before yesterday, I did not know who Tristan Lawrence was. South African golfer looking to change his life with a win. Right now, his projected finish is 167 spots above where he was projected ahead of the tournament, which I didn't even know there was 167 in the tournament. J.J. Spawn is alone in second at 4 under par, playing even golf on today. Sam Burns had a great day. Sam Burns went 5 under on the round just today to bring him to 3 under on the tournament. He is alone in third. And then it gets interesting. Tied for fourth, Victor Hovland, who is kind of the biggest name of the top 5. And he is tied. He's in the clubhouse, 1 under par on the tourney. Ben Griffin, UNC former golfer, Raleigh native, he is 1 under on the tournament as well through 9 holes today. He is tied for fourth. So the top 5, not expected, but some interesting storylines, particularly when you mix in a local guy and Ben Griffin getting his mentions in. For the big names, Justin Thomas, way off, plus 12 on the tourney, outside the top 120. Cam Smith, plus 10, outside the top 100. Dustin Johnson, plus 10, outside the top 100. For guys that look like they'll make the cut, Bryson DeChambeau is now into the top 45, tied for 45th. 5 over through 9 holes today, 5 over on the tournament. He's tied with Jordan Spieth, who's done for the day. Phil Mickelson, 4 over through 7, 4 over on the tournament through 7 holes today, playing even golf today. Scotty Scheffler, I would say lurking might be a description. Plus 1 on the day, plus 4 on the tourney, plus 28, as is John Rahm and Colin Morikawa, both plus 4 on the tourney. And yes, if you want the carnage of Oakmont, which is what some are looking for, a gentleman by the name of George Duangmany, plus 35. He shot 86-89. Will Chandler, plus 22, went 14 over on the day. That is just brutal. All the way down, looking for golfers you'd recognize. Shane Lowry finished plus 13, or didn't even finish. Plus 13, still has 9 holes to go today. If you're not careful, this course will chew you up and spit you out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a U.S. Open Championship update on 99.9 The Fan. Teed up by Wilson Country Club. Experience the history of this must-play course. They'll be updating you throughout the weekend on the U.S. Open. Let's transition to a hockey conversation here, and it is one – it just makes a previous frustration more frustrating, right? It's you know what this is what it is. You've seen the cinematic classic Dumb and Dumber, correct?
Of course.
You know how Harry is frustrated that they rode on a moped through the mountains and he was freezing and he didn't have gloves? And then he gets even more frustrated when he learns that Lloyd, played by Jim Carrey, had an extra pair of gloves. He had been wearing 2. And that bit of information made him more frustrated. That's what happened to me last night, okay? When the Carolina Hurricanes made the Eastern Conference Finals, won a game in the Eastern Conference Finals, won more postseason games, made it technically further than any Carolina Hurricanes team has made it since they won the Cup back in the mid-2000s. When that happened, and there were people acting like it was some kind of a catastrophe that they didn't win the Eastern Conference Finals, or they wanted to put Rod Brind'Amour on the hot seat for running into the glass ceiling that he can't win in the Eastern Conference Finals. I was very frustrated when those conversations took place. We had segments on this show where I voiced my frustration about those conversations. Then last night, all these the post-game award or postseason awards are coming out, right? We've talked about Selke voting, we've talked about Norris voting. The All-Star ballots are revealed, right? First and second team All-Star, kind of like All-Pro in the NFL, right? The best players at their position. The voting came out, and this was the moment where, like, the hockey world said, "Oh, are your hands cold? We have extra gloves." Like, it made me more frustrated than I already was with those conversations, because the final voting results for the 2024-2025 NHL first and second All-Star teams include 10 centers, include, I'm estimating, looking here, probably 17 left wings, 9 right wings, over 20 defensemen, 14 goaltenders. There is one Carolina Hurricane on any of those lists, and it is Jaccob Slavin as a defenseman, and he's not sniffing first or second team based on the voting. He is in 9th, behind Lane Hudson and Thomas Harley and basically guys that I think he's better than, but the voters don't, right? They are above him. And that right there is the added kicker of a team made it to the Eastern Conference Finals with not only no end-of-season all-star first or second teamers, but nobody that really came close. And somehow it is a catastrophe that team wasn't able to beat one of the best teams in the league. If you look at Alexander Barkov, he's in the top group for the centers, and like Matthew Tkachuk, even with all of his injuries, listed with the left wingers. And I'm not going to go through them all. Sam Reinhart, top 5 with the right wingers. Yet the Canes were able to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with no All-Stars. None close. So there's only 2 things to acknowledge here. There's only 2 ways that happens, right? There's only 2 ways everything I just described makes any sense. One is Rod Brind'Amour and the coaching staff had a wizard of a coaching season, and they took a team that did not have any true superstars on it and were one of the last 4 standing. And beat teams with multiple all-star contenders and got so much more out of the talent they were dealt. Either that happened or these voters are completely wrong, and the Carolina Hurricanes actually had a whole bunch of deserving all-stars that for some reason didn't get any votes, and then, yes, it would be some kind of a mistake or some kind of a demerit, a black mark on their record that they didn't play better in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think what's more likely is the former. The more likely is this is a roster of a lot of really, really good players that had really, really good seasons, but they didn't have great seasons. Right? Even if you think Slavin and Aho are superstars, which I tended to believe, I don't think either of them had their best season, right? Yet, Rod Brindamore and that coaching staff was still able to cobble together the guys they had on their roster and find a way to be one of the last 4 teams standing. That's not deserving of he should be on the hot seat. Oh, why does he have this ceiling that he can't crash through at the Eastern Conference Finals? No, the reverse is true. The reverse is, oh, he's able to do all of that without any all-star seasons from his team. Just imagine what that coaching staff and that system could do if you gave him some all-star caliber seasons. That's where I think you go next. That's where I think you go when you're looking at things from a big picture. And by the way, I think that is why what we talked about earlier is so enticing, right? David Pagnotta, and I'm pronouncing that guy's name. I don't know why I have such a hard time with it. Pagnotta. I think there's like a nya in like Pagnotta, but either way, the Fourth Period is the publication. And he's an insider, and he's got, over 100,000 followers, and he's connected, and this is not some nobody. Put out a tweet earlier today that with Mitch Marner from Toronto expected to hit free agency, there's talk around the league that the Carolina Hurricanes are going to make a big swing, and to not be surprised if their offer to Mitch Marner is above $14 million per year on a 7-year contract, which would make him the highest paid player per year in the league. Now, part of me goes, Mitch Marner's not the best player in the league, right? And if he's the highest paid, right, you can connect those dots and go, I don't know. But then the other part of me is, I do want to see what this system does with another stud or two, right? I do want to see what this system can do. I think the mandate, the priority of this offseason for the Carolina Hurricanes is get a couple of guys that are going to be on the all-star ballots next year. Or the alternative can be true. Bring in whoever you need to this offseason that will unlock the top ability of players already on the roster to be on the all-star ballots at this time next year. Because I'm not, knocking anyone on the Canes right now, but I don't think you win a cup without even getting, a couple first-team all-star votes on your squad, right? I don't think you have that level of production if you don't have a couple of second-team votes. I'm not asking for the world. I'm not saying you got to have 2 guys on the first team. I'm just saying you need to have people in those conversations. And if you don't, then you're probably getting by with smoke and mirrors a little bit, right? You're probably getting by with muddying up the game or grinding the game and doing the things that they've kind of made their identity. But sometimes you just need a dude. Right? Sometimes you just need a guy that you can point to and go, yep, that one. He's going to save us. We're all going to look to him. He's going to save us. Maybe that's where we should start, right? It seems correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Dennis. And it's a Friday, so we can speak honestly about stereotypes. Part of me thinks the Canes do like all their shopping on like the Selke ballot. Like you have to
yeah.
Like that's where they go to find their Canes players. Part of me wants them to just go to like the top scoring ballot, or just go look at the All-Star ballot, right? Go look at who's.
Go look at the Art Ross standings.
Exactly, Art Ross, or let's be real. Half of these awards have become at your position, do you produce the most points? Just go look at some of those more lists and find a few that maybe aren't the most Canes-like, but they bring something that the Canes may need. Right? Because even Mitch Marner, right, who we just talked about, rumored to be getting a big offer from the Canes, he would be the highest on the Selke ballot for the Carolina Hurricanes this season, above the 3 guys they already have in the top 20. That's very fits their system. So basically, I mean, by the way, Mitch Marner was actually, you ready for this? Mitch Marner was the 3rd leading vote getter for right wingers, and he also received a 3rd place vote for left wingers.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's I don't know. It's all take that stuff a little bit with a grain of salt.
Oh, that's funny. No, I mean, someone vote him for left wing, so obviously we have to take it with a grain of salt. My point is, the Canes' reputation, their players' reputation in the seasons they had around the league, were not that they were elite players this year. Yet somehow they ended up in the Eastern Conference Finals. You can't simultaneously be mad at Rod Brind'Amour and also say the players that he's coaching are not as good as the players on the other contenders. That's a break in logic there. You either say the players are not anywhere near all-star caliber, and then you have to praise Rod Brind'Amour for what he's able to get out of them and still making it to Eastern Conference Finals. Or if you want to blame Rod Brind'Amour and put him on the hot seat and say he has this glass ceiling he can't break through and all those other things, you better say that the athletes on his team are superstar quality, because if they're not, there's the reason why there's whatever ceiling they're hitting. There's just logic breaks, right? I'm a fan of logic and reason. I'm a fan of when things make sense. And when they don't make sense, I have a hard time not calling them out. Do you think it's an issue that Connor Hellebuck wasn't a unanimous first-teamer?
Yeah, it's a little interesting seeing as how he won the Vezina and the Hart Trophy.
Yeah, if you win the Hart Trophy, it seems like somebody's maybe trying to make a point of some kind by putting someone else.
I think all that voting is done at the same time.
He was in. Well, actually, okay. Well, I assume might be different voters, because 2 people put Vasilevsky as their top goaltender in the All-Star ballot, and only 1 put Vasilevsky as the Vezina winner.
Yeah, it's possible.
Unless somebody thought they were like it was a dead heat, and they went, "I'll give you one, and I'll give you one." You see that in the NFL sometimes, where people will vote like 1 quarterback for MVP and 1 for first team All-Pro.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's dumb, but I guess that's their cop out, right? That's an official calling a double foul. It's like, no, somebody committed the foul. The other reacted. You give me a double, it's just cop out. That's it on the awards. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is not it for Manor Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. It was raining pretty hard earlier today. There's storms. Like I brought up the weather app earlier today. Just storms every day from like the next week. You know what? Ready for my middle school science weather report for you? If you actually want weather reports, Kat Campbell, WRAL meteorologist, that's where you should go. But what causes thunderstorms, right? Hot and cold fronts. They collide. Boom. Happens in the middle. That's what's happening, right? Weather's changing, hot and cold, and the fronts are meeting. And we know what that's like in North Carolina, right? You could have one day where it's 60, the next day where it feels like it's 104. And when that happens, you're going to be putting a lot of stress on your AC. You're going to be putting a lot of stress on your HVAC. And Manor Service Company knows, well, when that stress is put on those particular pieces of equipment, sometimes they don't operate appropriately. And when they're not, you need someone to call. Manor Service Company wants to be that someone for you. Same is true for plumbing and electric, right? We're coming up on, July 4th's not that far away. A lot of family vacays, family gatherings. All of a sudden, your house is used to having 3, 4 people in it, 5 people in it. They got a day where they have 30. All of a sudden, that toilet maybe isn't operating as well as you'd like. There you go. Give Manor Service Company a call. Electric, no matter what you have going on, the number is simply 919-361-0993. 919-361-0993. You can also check them out online at ManorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Coming up next here on The Drive, we have real, certified, authenticated, bold predictions. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum, and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. When we're spending more time outside, especially at home, we're starting to notice all of what the past months, all the wet months did to us. What can people do?
They can give us a call, and we can come out and do an assessment of the house. We can walk around the house with you and take a look at your window trims, your door trims, your gutters, your fascia behind your gutters. I mean, rot's everywhere on wooden houses, right? You just see it all the time, and a lot of people get overwhelmed. So what we do, we have all of our professional salesmen will come out to your house and help you walk around. There's no pressure. We're there to really help people. A lot of times people just want to see what do they need to do on their house. So that's what we're here to do. We can help you come together with a package for like windows, doors, siding, roofing, whatever you need. We're here to help you. That's the bottom line.
Also, great financing packages, correct?
Tons of zero-interest financing. We can make payments that are affordable for any home improvement.
I love zero-interest financing. It's my favorite type of financing. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, I've been told that there's more information that we've gathered involving the Southern Grace, a competitor, a boat, competing in the Big Rock Marlin Invitational Tournament. I say that wrong every time. Big Rock.
You can just call it the Big Rock.
I know, but it's the Blue Marlin Tournament.
Yeah, it's the Big Rock Blue Marlin Tournament.
I keep forgetting blue. The Big Rock Blue Marlin Tournament is going on this weekend. Tomorrow will be the final day with boats on the water. The leader, as we stand right now, is off a boat called Bankwalker. Lizzie Montague reeled in a 449.7-pound Blue Marlin Wednesday night. Southern Grace has been battling a fish since around noon. And, Dennis, they got it. They boated it.
They did. They boated it. They got it on the boat at 4:34 p.m., so about 12 minutes ago.
And do we
haven't heard anything else about
I was going to say, do we have an expectation for when they will be at the dock?
No, I've not. I've not seen an update regarding that.
Okay. We'll keep you updated when we can. And yeah, Wave Grader. I just brought it up. They weighed in a wahoo.
There you go.
Do you know what a wahoo is?
I do.
Delicious. That's what a wahoo is. It is delicious. In the Hawaiian culture, they're known as ono fish.
Okay.
You know what ono means?
Oh, no.
Delicious.
Oh.
It's literally called the delicious fish in Hawaiian culture. Wahoo are delicious. 32.5-pound wahoo off of Wave Grader. So if you're sharing Wave Grader, I would like some. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Real bold prediction time. Fire it up. And not real bold like really bold. Real bold like authentic, like real, like certified. Bold predictions. The only place in sports media where we have a checks and balances system. You just heard the little bedeep. What do we call that? Yeah, bedeep. That's appropriate.
Little chime?
Chime, sure.
Little Mario coin.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Bing, bing, bing. And also the buzzer. So I will make what I think is a bold prediction. And if it is bold enough, you'll hear the bedeep, the chime. If it is not bold enough, you will hear the buzzer. And I will have to make it bolder on the spot until we hear the bold enough chime. That's how it works. You'll catch on. It's fairly easy. It's just to make sure that all bold predictions are actually bold and we're not cheating the system. I'll start with one apiece for each of the championship series going on. Start tonight with the NBA Finals. Thunder win the series in 6. I am going to double and triple down, and I'm going to be wrong either 100 times or right one of them. I had Thunder winning the series in 5. Then they lost game 1, and I said, no, they're still winning it in 5. Then they lost game 3, and I went, no, now it's 6. That's what I'm doing. That's the point that I'm at now. Halliburton's probably mad at the media, me included. For the Stanley Cup Final, I'm doubling down on this one. This was one, I don't know, I think we had a different producer when we did this last time. At some point in the series, a McDavid hat trick. I mean, he's got to shoot more, first of all. Like, be a little bit more aggressive. But I just think, like, the crossover on Ekblad, and then it's stopped by Bob. Eventually, those are going to just be goals. I mean, credit to Bob for stopping one of them.
Yeah.
I think, like, the regression to the mean means he's about to have one of these games where he finds the net a whole bunch of times. So give me McDavid on a hat trick before the series ends, which, by the way, we now know it's going at least 6, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
2-2, so we got a lot more hockey to play.
My prediction has worked out so far. I said they were going to split in Edmonton. They're going to split in Sunrise, be 2-2 going back to Edmonton. Edmonton wins Game 5, and then they win Game 6 on the road, winning in 6. A prediction so far
We'll
working.
see. And one of them will be a McDavid hat trick.
Maybe.
For my bold prediction to hit, which is really all I care about. I should change this one. Or should I not? I started this list yesterday.
Okay.
There's been news that
Start with it.
There's been news that has come out that maybe makes me lean in a different direction.
Okay.
Jason Robertson, a Kane by next season. Obviously, if they're spending $14 million on Mitch Marner, which is kind of the rumor of the day, I don't think they go out and get Jason Robertson also, just because I think their resources from that point forward will have to be spent on center for the most part. But heck, what would a top line look like with Aho, Robertson, and Marner?
Oh gosh.
I mean,
I don't hate it. Don't hate it.
Can they skate for 30 minutes a night? Because there'd be a lot of money up there, especially once Robertson's extension, which would have to come kind of soon, would hit. And then paired with this, I'm not happy with this. This is, again, their predictions, and they're bold. They're not like, hey, I hope this happens, and I think it's going to likely happen. Andrei Svechnikov, not a Kane at the start of next season. Not bold enough. Can the machine explain themselves?
Not a Kane in the sense that if you want to make the big move for Jason Robertson or so on, or Tage Thompson, whoever it might be, it's going to require a big piece going back, and that might be the one.
I've danced in the dark
not
corners of the internet recently, and what I mean by is I've said Kane's things, and then fans of other teams have jumped in and joined the conversation. And darn near all of them at some point go, unless you're giving up Svech. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good point. In order to get all the cool and wondrous things that I am fantasizing about, you're going to have to give something up.
But there are limitations because he has a partial no-trade clause, so there are some limitations possibly with that as well.
And there's in a Robertson trade, it really wouldn't work because they'd be interested in lowering cap hit, and he does bring a certain amount of money. So it's bold. I thought it was bold, but apparently it's not. So Svetch is not a Cane next season, nor is Scott Morrow.
That's a tough one. I'll go with that.
I didn't know who else to throw in there.
Yeah.
Because like Kotkaniemi's that's not going to help my bold factor.
No, it's not.
And yeah, Scott Morrow, I guess it works. U.S. Open. Victor Hovland wins the whole darn thing.
I don't know where he is in the standings right now.
Well, the machine should have done their prep. No.
I didn't know what your predictions were going to be.
Well. So, like, can I not make a U.S. Open prediction because you don't know where the standings are?
I need more specificity here.
He will win the U.S. Open, and the winning score will be 2 over par.
Okay, 2 over? All right. Yes, I'll take that one.
I think there's going to be a lot of guys getting their tails kicked by the course on the weekend. Let's go to a couple of NFL ones to round things out.
Okay.
Javon Merrick, career high in interceptions.
His career high is what, 2?
I think he has a year with 3. He has 6 in his career. He's played 6 games. He has 6 interceptions. Mm-hmm. So saying he's going to get 4 this year is a mighty step. That better be bold enough. I mean, if you're asking me what I want, 7 sounds lovely, Merrick.
3 came in 2023. He had 3 interceptions.
So I think he needs more where that came from. I mean, he needs to get his hands on
2 last year.
Although I'll settle for forced fumbles. But interceptions are flashier. I like them more. Final one here. And this has nothing to do with any of the local teams. It's my version of like a reality television guilty pleasure. I can't look away. Shamar Stewart doesn't play football this year and re-enters the 2026 NFL draft, which apparently is a thing he can do.
Yeah.
Shamar Stewart was a first-round pick for the Bengals, who was he's a toolsy first-round pick, right? Edge rusher, but really no production in college. But then he's big, tall, strong, and fast and does all those things. There's a hang-up on his – like he left minicamp early. He didn't play in any OTAs or minicamps. He has not signed his rookie contract. The hang-up, as it has been explained to me, and I've reached out to some people to ask, is there is a contract stipulation that is in pretty much every rookie's contract that says if you get suspended, there are certain things that if you do, your guaranteed money for that year becomes unguaranteed, right? Rookie contracts are fully guaranteed. The Bengals want to put in language that says if you're suspended at all, or there's other certain infractions, all of your guaranteed money for the entire contract is voided and we don't have to give it to you. Which, by the way, you're hearing suspension, you're thinking performance-enhancing drugs, you're thinking off-the-field conduct detrimental. It could be like too many hard hits to a quarterback's head. Like it could be like you get suspended for things that aren't necessarily like, oh, you're an awful person that's making terrible decisions. Sometimes they're just football things. Basically every agent that has been anonymously quoted is like, nah, I'm kind of on the kid's side here. And I don't see the Bengals changing that. Like if you've already gone this far digging your heels in on something so stupid, I don't see them suddenly going like, never mind, it's cool. And I didn't know, but apparently it is an option that Shamar Stewart just sits this one out and can re-enter the draft next year. You know what would be an all-time hilarious move? Bengals drafting him again. You're not getting away that easy. I just want it's like for some people, like, you know, murder trials is like their thing. It's like, I don't know, I don't like it, but I can't stop watching. This Shamar Stewart situation is that for me. Hilarious. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is real, authenticated, certified, bold predictions. And next is the starting 5. See you then.
Champions are crowned on 99.9 The Fan.
Now a steal, McConnell! Indiana's tied it at 25.
Basketball tonight. Indiana, Oklahoma City. The NBA Finals.
Matherin going to pull for three and hit. Matherin with 25 off the bench.
Game 4. Tip-off at 8:30 on your audio home for the NBA Finals. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Slammed by Obi Toppin, and the Pacers have matched their largest lead up 7. Here we go.
NASCAR makes history on Prime as the Cup Series goes international. We're heading to Mexico City for a road course with all new challenges. 14 turns with 7,000 feet of altitude.
White flag. Next flag ends the race.
Don't miss the first ever points-paying Cup Series race in Mexico. Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Track's clear. We're good to go.
NASCAR. It's on Prime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Do you have a wedding anniversary coming up? Don't just mark the day. Make it unforgettable with Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Shop their exquisite selection of designer jewelry or consider upgrading your original engagement ring with the diamond she really deserves. Whether this is the 1st or 31st anniversary, celebrate your love with something special, wrapped in a black and white striped box from Bailey's. Voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the Coast. Every woman wants a Bailey box. Visit us today in store or at baileybox.com.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun-fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRL meteorologist Mike Mays. The bottom line heading into our holiday weekend, keep the rain gear handy. Showers and storms gradually fade away this evening and overnight, 73 the low. More scattered storms for your Saturday. There's the possibility of heavy rain, the high around 90.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 769 points to 42,197.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5, and as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You like that? You like that?
The Men's College World Series going on as we speak, end of the 8th. Coastal Carolina leads Arizona 7-4.
Yeah, they pushed a run across on the bottom of the 8th inning to make it 5-4. Oh, it's 7-4. I'm going to take that back. Like you said,
7-4, yes.
My apologies. I missed the last 2 runs. I looked up before the break, and I saw, 5-4, sweet.
Can I
missed those last 2.
We'll keep you updated. So it's now top 9, and like we said, Coastal up 7-4. Looking at the future of college sports, I've learned quite a bit in the last 48 hours about how I think sports like baseball are going to go, okay? Right now, there's an unheard of amount of parity in college baseball. 7 different conferences of the 8 in Omaha, 8 teams that are completely unique to the 8 teams from last year, no repeat teams in Omaha. I don't think that's going to last. So, and the reason being is, watch what's happening in softball with Texas Tech. Dennis, I'm going to blow your mind right now, okay?
Okay.
Brendan Marcello of CBS Sports tweeted this out 2 days ago. It is believed Texas Tech will pay its players, among all its programs and revenue share, and plus NIL, $55 million. Texas Tech is going to pay their players across all sports $55 million, making the Red Raiders perhaps the highest-paying college athletics program in the country, sources tell Brendan Marcello and CBS Sports. Texas Tech says its fundraising arm, the Red Raider Club, will be responsible for generating $14 million annually to help fund just the revenue share portion of $20.5 million. First of all, am I missing something? Why would you have to fundraise to fund a revenue share? You're sharing revenue. Just take it from the revenue, share it with the players. Got to go fundraise and ask for money to share revenue. I just logic. Again, I don't like when logical things don't happen.
I think what they're saying is because that $20.5 million normal will be going to other places, now we need to raise to make up that gap.
Yes. So instead of cutting costs elsewhere for things that have been bloated for years and years and to pay the players, they're just going to go put their hands out and ask fans for $14 million. But that's not the point I'm here to tell you. Here's how I think the future of college sports is. I think most of the, we're talking the big schools, right? The schools that are $100 million businesses plus. I think most of them are going to chase football and basketball, okay? So they're going to try to fund those as much as they can, and then they're going to choose 1 or 2 other sports and go try to dominate those sports. They'll still play the other sports that don't have the funding, but they're going to try to be a blank school. Football, basketball, and blank. Texas Tech is choosing softball. They got $55 million to pay their athletes. They're giving $1 million a year at least to their pitcher, Kennedy. Jacari, I don't want to mispronounce her name. Kennedy is her last name. They are doing something that could be considered like grossly competitive imbalanced in the transfer portal right now. And I just saw this. Are you ready for this? Texas Tech softball is luring Tennessee All-American Taylor Pannell, Ohio State All-American Jasmine Burns, Florida All-American Mia Williams, the star pitcher for UCLA softball, who is a two-way player, had 20 wins on the mound, Caitlin Terry, the Missouri Valley Conference MVP, Jackie Liss, all to Texas Tech next year. They essentially went around to all the best softball programs in the country and just took their best player next year and brought him out of the portal. Why would they do that? Money. So Texas Tech, I believe, is going to try to compete in men's basketball. They're going to try to compete in football. And they're going to try to compete in softball. And I'm not sure they're going to try to fund much else. And they have $55 million to do that. And I think sports are going to try that kind of, or schools are going to try to lead with that, right? Because it's kind of if you try to fund 15 sports, you're not going to be competitive in any of them, right? Like if you're trying to fund 15 sports and also beat Texas Tech at softball, and they're spending what appears to, easily multiple millions of dollars on their softball team, and you're trying to get it done with $600K, you're not going to be able to, right? And then you're going to get to like a school that says, all right, we're football, basketball, and lacrosse. And we're football, basketball, and field hockey. And we're football, basketball, and golf. And if you don't spend a lot of money on that sport, you're just not going to be able to compete. It's going to be a really interesting place. Really interesting. And schools, baseball, I think, is going to be one of them. There'll be 10 schools that are going to spend way more than everybody else on baseball. And you won't be able to be like, no, we're going to fund baseball, softball, both soccers. We're going to fund volleyball. We're going to fund this. We're going to fund that. All, and you're not going to be able to spend at the top. You're going to have to pick one. There'll be a football, basketball, and a baseball school. And that's what you do. That's it. That's number 5. By the way, top of the 9th, still Coastal up 7-4 over Arizona. We're pulling for Coastal here, I'd guess.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Just go avenge the Tar Heels?
Yeah.
They are in South Carolina. Are you okay with that? Myrtle Beach is kind of its own little...
Yeah, Myrtle Beach is like, that's its own separate world.
That's funny. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the U.S. Open. Here's the current leaderboard presented by Wilson Country Club. All the way at the top, guess who's back? JJ Spawn. We've been doing every hour updates on U.S. Open since the beginning of yesterday's show. In the 4 o'clock hour, about an hour ago, I said for the first time, JJ Spawn was not at the top. Tristan Lawrence had worked his way into first place. Lawrence has moved back in a big way. JJ Spawn up there by himself, back in the lead. 4 under on the tourney, even on the day. He is through 12 holes of his second round. Sam Burns and Tristan Lawrence are tied for second, 1 stroke back of Spawn, 3 under par. Lawrence is still on the course through 7 holes. Sam Burns posted a 5 under on the round today. He's in the clubhouse, 3 under par on the tourney. Outside the top 3, but close, Thomas Dietrich is up to 4th by himself, 2 under par on the tourney, and he's halfway through his round today. Victor Hovland is probably the highest, real big name. He is 1 under par on the tourney in the clubhouse for the day. Ben Griffin moved back a spot. The UNC former Tar Heel Raleigh native. He's now tied for 6th with Adam Scott and Sam Stevens at even on the tourney. As far as big names go, some yikes going on. Rory McIlroy, 8 over par through 11 holes today, 8 over par in the tournament, tied for 88th. He has some work to do to make the cut. Dustin Johnson, he'll be cut. Justin Thomas, he'll be cut. Cameron Smith, unless he goes supernova on the back 9, he'll be cut. Patrick Cantlay probably has some work to do. He's on tie for 75th right now, plus 7 with 7-8 holes left to play. Phil Mickelson inside the cut line. Bryson DeChambeau inside the cut line. They both have about half a round left to go today. Spieth will make the cut, 5 over par, tied for 41st. Scotty Scheffler will make the cut, tied for 26th. 4 over par, along with Colin Morikawa, John Rahm. Brooks Koepka didn't have the best day today, went 4 over par, but he's in the top 11, 2 over par. And that is a U.S. Open Championship update. Updates on 99.9 The Fan are teed up by Wilson Country Club. Experience the history of this must-play course. Oakmont not looking like a must-play course. Looking like a you must play it if you have a glutton for punishment course.
You said the plus 19 for someone today?
There was a plus 19 on the round. That gentleman by the name of George Duangmani is 35 over on the tournament. 35 over.
Yeah, that's like a round for me. So I you know what?
On Oakmont, it would be even more aggressive for you.
That would be like the front 9?
Yeah. Justin Lower is a PGA Tour grinder. He plays a lot on tour. He's 24 over on the tournament. 83 yesterday, and he's 11 over today through 9. There are these are the best golfers on planet Earth, and some of them are getting lit up, in serious fashion. Sometimes the course wins. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3. So Dave Canales, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, we know his optimism, right? We know he loves playing football. We know, what is it?
I feel great about playing football right now.
That was in April of last year. that guy, he's ready.
You could have told me that was yesterday. I've been like, yeah, of course.
He probably did say it yesterday.
Probably
just not into a microphone that we had access to. He probably wakes up in the morning, splashes some water on his face. I feel great about playing football. He's a unique guy, okay? And I'm not saying that negatively. I'm saying he's a unique guy. They had a mini camp, the Panthers did, the past 3 days. It was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mini camp. Dave Canales tried something, right? And this is straight out of a David Newton report from ESPN. When the Panthers weren't studying film or practicing during their minicamp, they were watching the NBA playoffs. Canales went so far as to put together highlight reels of the Pacers and Thunder as examples of what it takes to win. Here's Canales talking about that decision.
It's great. The nature of competition, that's what it is. How do you respond to adversity? We got the gift of watching the Pacers and OKC play and go back and forth, and you see the guys, you see the energy all the way through it, and so I love seeing the response. And it just makes everything, you got to be that much sharper. You got to be, that much cleaner in your technique, and that's where you start to separate is the details, the fundamental execution, because the talent is so good right now with our group that part can go back and forth. So I love the challenge of it.
How about that? You know what that reminds me of? Kobe Bryant, who, by the way, like Kobe Bryant clips they're becoming like, if you want to go viral and you just run some random sports account, just post a video of Kobe telling a story and it goes viral. But one passed my feed, my social media feed, probably a month ago, where he talked about early in his career, same draft class, him and Allen Iverson, right? Allen Iverson, I think, scored 44 is the story against Kobe, and Kobe became obsessed with, I have to stop Allen Iverson. How did he do that? What did he do? And he went so far as, and this is Kobe talking, he went and watched like documentaries of great white sharks and how they hunt their prey, looking for some kind of way to grab an advantage over Allen Iverson by watching great white sharks. And it's just like, I don't know, things seem to be going well for them. They seem like apex predators. There must be something I can glean from it. That's kind of my version of Dave Canales. He's going like, I don't know. The NBA teams are in the championship. That's where we want to go. Let's watch. There's got to be something there, right? They're scoring points off turnovers. Let's try to do that. I don't know. Maybe we need to work on Bryce Young's vertical jump. He needs to dunk more. I don't know if they're going to glean much from it, but hey, whatever works for you, right? Whatever works for you. In high school, I played with a guy that used to watch. He brought his own. Remember those little? They look like little laptops, little portable DVD player.
Oh yeah,
like a little flip-up thing.
I used to have one of those.
There it is.
They were great for like traveling on road trips and things like that.
Exactly, and he would bring it to football games. We're talking like JV football games. He would bring it and he would watch Michael Jordan highlights before every game. Just that's how he got himself to play football, by the way. He was a running back and safety. He'd watch Michael Jordan like dunking on people, and that's how he got jacked up. Whatever gets your juices flowing. I also had a running back in college. He's a beast of a running back. He used to listen to Jackson 5. His locker was next to mine. I'd be sitting there like, most people listen to like Tupac or Metallica, something aggressive. His headphones would turn up and A, B, C. Easiest 1, 2, 3. I'd be like, all right, whatever gets you rolling. Go out there and run for 150 yards. You can listen to whatever you want. So maybe that's Canales just trying stuff. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us. Nimhard back to Turner. Shuffles it off to Halliburton at the top. Sidestep left 3. Good! Tyrese Halliburton with a sport triple. Indiana back in front. Timeout Thunder.
NBA Finals, Game 4 tonight. I didn't think I'd say this. Could be a must-win for the Thunder, which is kind of crazy because I still, just person for person, think Thunder are the better team. we talked about this the other day. The Pacers have that funny thing that's, I don't know, they win. Right? And you can't really argue with that. I don't know, they're winning a lot. Even when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, it still was like, I don't know. That's by whoever's there was going to lose to Boston. Then they make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's still like, I don't know. Make it to the finals, I don't know. Just keep winning. Tyrese Halliburton's one of those dudes. Just, there's no way that guy's the best player in the series, right? He might be. SGA's the MVP. He's definitely the better player, right? Yeah, I mean, that's what my brain tells me, but maybe not. I'm big on the cross-sport analogies recently. The one I used yesterday I really like. I think that the Pacers are Ben Roethlisberger. Right? They're contemporaries with guys who make so much more sense as elite players, but for whatever reason, then they win a lot. Right? It's like Ben Roethlisberger never made sense to me. I always gave a lot of credit to the coaches, actually, for Ben Roethlisberger's career. I'm like, Cowher and Tomlin are geniuses. It's not fair because Ben Roethlisberger's one out there on the field. And that's kind of Tyrese Halliburton, right? Or the Pacers. I'm going like, Rick Carlisle is underrated. The stuff he did with the Mavericks, the comebacks he's had, he's doing a great job. I mean, yeah, but players are the ones out there making it happen. I am a big Siakam fan. I will take credit for that. That's the only thing I can take credit for in this entire deal. Dennis, who you got tonight? Actually, we're going to make our picks later.
Okay.
Whoa.
But say, hey, well, hold on.
Sorry. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
Let's do that hockey.
Stanley Cup Final Game 4 last night, right? And actually they're going to be playing over the weekend, so this can be a little bit of a recap, a little bit of a preview. I think this is, and I've said it a few times, it still feels like there's some coronation, some crowning moment that is right around the corner for guys like Connor McDavid, for guys like Leon Draisaitl, who are like their places in history are. There's no doubt they're going to go down in history. It's just a matter of which room, right? Like how bold is the writing of their name in the history books, and they obviously need a cup, probably multiple cups, to enter into the conversations that they want to be a part of. And if you talk to any all-time great, and by you listen to them on, there's so many player-run podcasts and everything, and one of the quintessential questions to ask an all-time great is, which ring is your favorite? Right? Yes, you get Dwayne Wade on your podcast. Which championship is your favorite? You got to ask, right? And what do they always say? Oh, I love them all equally. They're like children. And then you go, yeah, but right? I could do the whole podcast without them here. And then they go, it's got to be the first one, right? First one, it was the hardest. First one, it was, I didn't know how difficult it was. And when the first one, I do think the first ring you get in a career like a McDavid's is so much more difficult than like the third, because I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know if it's now you know what it takes or whatever. But not only with that being at the hardest, but then you mix in that you're facing the Panthers, whose like sole goal in life is to make things more difficult for their opponents. They're just interested in that. It's going to be a really, really fun series. I'm glad it's going at least 6. Now that the Oilers have tied it up at 2 games apiece. I hope it goes 7. The other thing is the mental side of it. Being down 3-0, facing a 3-1 deficit, when everything I just said is true, right? Their legacies and the pressure, and not to mention the whole country of Canada, when all of that is, and you're facing a 3-1 deficit and you are down 3-0 in the first period, to come back and win that game. And by the way, like the back and forth there in the middle, force overtime, that is. Do they still give away the DVDs after championships? You know what I'm talking about? It used to be like the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup would finish, and the first commercial after the final buzzer would be like, to commemorate your favorite teams, run to the championship.
Oh, the old Sports Illustrated.
Get the commemorative DVD and
T-shirt.
Yeah, it was like the whole bit there.
Yeah, that was always a Sports Illustrated thing.
It was exactly. And if you pay the $99.99 for this championship bundle, you'll get 900 magazines for free. it was, sign up and a fleece. We'll give you the fleece that says Sports Illustrated. I used to always talk about championship runs, and I'd go like, where's the moment they're going to talk about on the DVD, right? Where's the moment where Steve Sable from NFL Films is going to go, and at this moment, the team had to look themselves in the eye and decide whether they were going to go quietly into the night or fight back to a new dawn. Like, you're always looking for those moments, right? I think if it's the Florida Panthers, that moment is when they were down 2-0 to Toronto. If you're looking for the Edmonton Oilers, there's a good chance whatever was said in that locker room at the first intermission of Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, I hope McDavid was mic'd up, right? I hope they have that footage, because if they go on to win, that's the moment where the music's going to change, right? It's going to go from sad to like the triumphant marching band music. And again, I don't even know if they still make those DVDs. If you're under the age of like 25, I promise you what I just told you actually existed. It wasn't just like, check out the YouTube recap of the championship run tomorrow on our YouTube channel. It wasn't that. There was physical DVDs. Do I have to explain what a DVD is? Used to be a VHS. Let's not go too far down the old path. But my point is, overall, a team like the Oilers, when you have so much skill, they're going to ask about your toughness and your mental toughness and your ability to get punched in the face. They took a couple haymakers and came back and won that game, and that is very, very good for like their championship mindset.
It's amazing
that's what I'm getting at.
It's amazing how the swing in that second period was so drastic. I thought when they scored early in the second, they made it 3-1. I was like, okay, if they can just get another one sometime between the end of the second, early in the third, they give themselves a chance to tie it up late in the game. Like, they just chipped away, and all of a sudden, it's 4-3 Edmonton here in the third.
Mm-hmm.
And then they blew the lead late.
Real
I was like,
quick.
wait a second.
Yeah. It was, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Actually, you know what? Normally, because when we're in the building for a game and I'm trying to tell the story to the listeners, momentum swings are usually things that you feel in the building, and it doesn't always translate over television. It's like, if you were there, hey, with 6 minutes left in the second, I know they were down 2 goals. It felt like they were going to win that game. It translated over TV. Like, in that second period, it was as if, sitting on your couch, it was as if you were in the building. The whole momentum just went whoosh, and you were like, ooh, Edmonton is a different beast right now. And you didn't have to be in the building to feel it. I'm sure in the building it was times 10, but you didn't have to be in the building to catch that one.
I will say, you got to give Edmonton not only a ton of credit for the comeback, but they didn't let just the fact that they saw the Florida Panthers get in their heads. Because we saw that in Game 3, where they're just like, all right, we're going to just try and we're going to push back. I'm like, well, they're not actually even pushing you. You're just actually getting out of your own space or getting out of your own head in that sense. I thought they did a great job of just staying disciplined and not doing any of the pushing and shoving after the whistle. I mean, neither team really did it.
I was worried. Again, worried is the wrong term, because I don't really care who wins, like from a loyalty perspective. I was worried or waiting for the response from Edmonton that we saw in Game 3, which was like, I was like, oh, they're down 3-0. Are they going to try to drop the gloves? Like, are they going to throw their little hissy fits? And they did the exact opposite of that, which maybe it was lesson learned from Game 3, perhaps. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was the starting 5. This is Dennis Cox with a message.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One thing I enjoy doing when I'm out on my motorcycle is actually just exploring and finding new roads. It's just different areas to ride around the Raleigh area, around Wake County. But something that you want to make sure that you have with you when you're on the road is a sense of security. And that's where Law Tigers comes in. And this is something about a lot of people that may not understand when you're on a motorcycle. There is a higher risk of being in an accident. And if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, the reason why I say there's a security with Law Tigers is because Law Tigers is there for you as a motorcycle rider. They're part of the motorcycle riding community. They ride motorcycles just like I do, just like you possibly do as well. So they know what your bike is worth, what your gear is worth, but most importantly, what you're going through after you've been in an accident. That's why your case evaluation is always free with Law Tigers, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So again, knowing that security, that someone is there for you, part of your community that is there for you in case you're in an accident, It's always reassuring. That's why you got to give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. I believe this will be the last day we have this prize. So if you want 30 minutes of golf simulator action at Rush Hour Karting, we have the 30-minute pass, the half-hour pass, going to the winner of the numbers game. All you have to do is call in and win. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. We need 2 competitors. The winner gets a 30-minute golf simulator pass at Rush Hour Karting. Call in now because the numbers game is next.
Hey, it's Victoria with 99.9 The Fan. It's Men's Health Month, and WakeMed Heart and Vascular would like to remind you that stress and anger can have negative effect on your body, and if continued over time, can cause major problems like headache, upset stomach, insomnia, high blood pressure, and maybe even a heart attack or stroke. So take a time out, relax, take a deep breath, and walk it off. Manage your stress, and your heart will thank you. Learn more about caring for your heart at wakemed.org.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagain.nc.gov. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Down on credit cards? Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And the prize for today, a half-hour golf simulator pass at Rush Hour Karting. That's right. Rush Hour Karting has golf simulators as well. The contestants for today are Hunter in Raleigh and Jeff in Raleigh. Now, traditionally on Friday, we ask questions about the weekend, and then Dennis picks his favorite answer, and that person gets to go first. But in honor of the Big Rock updates that we've been giving you throughout the show, which, by the way, there was the Southern Grace did boat their Marlin, but it has not been weighed in as of yet, I don't believe. So we'll if it happens before the end of the show, we'll keep you updated on that. In honor of the Big Rock going on, We're asking for your boat title, your boat name. So Hunter in Raleigh. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. So it's just really for fun and for setting the order. Hunter in Raleigh, you'll go first. If you bought a boat, and you may have one, but if you bought a boat, we're talking like your dream boat, what is the name? What are you naming your boat?
If I'm naming my boat after my name, I'm probably going to do something like Hunt 'em Down. So Hunt and then, Hunt 'em Down.
Oh, because your name is Hunter. I get it. All right. Hunt 'em down. That name has been locked in as an answer. We'll go to Jeff in Raleigh next. Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right.
I'd like to work Jordan's boat when he's in the Marlin tournament into it, but I can't do that being a Pac fan. So I'm going to go with my name, and I'm Pappy. Who's Your Pappy would be my boat name if I ever somehow would come across the means to purchase one.
Who's Your Pappy? All right, we have Hunt 'em Down or Who's Your Pappy. Which is the boat name that you choose?
Oh, these are good.
They're both, and they're kind of personal. They tie in. They
yeah, like Hunt 'em down. It's like, all right, you're trying to, go catch the fish, whatever it is you're trying to go. You're trying to hunt them down, and kind of like a play on Who's Your Daddy, Who's Your Pappy. That's a good one. Both really good. This is not easy, Tim.
No, it is not. That's why you're the man for the job.
I know.
You didn't ask for it to be easy. You asked for it to be difficult. I don't know. I'm trying to go motivational with that one.
I'm going to go Who's Your Pappy.
Who's Your Pappy?
Who's Your Pappy? I'm going to go Who's Your Pappy on this one.
Right.
Both great answers, by the way.
There you go. Who's Your Pappy? Jeff in Raleigh, that means you get to go first. Hunter in Raleigh, you'll have your chance. Just go ahead and stay on the line for a second there. Jeff, are you ready to pick a category?
I am.
All right.
I just wanted to tell Dennis I should have also mentioned that Papa the Sailor Man, his dad's name's Pappy.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's right.
I did have some fishing in there.
Okay. All right. Popeye the Sailor Man. That all makes sense.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead. I'm ready. Give me the category.
All right. Taking control. I like it. NFL players who switched positions from college to the pros is one category. Another is NFL players that share their first names with a member of the Brady Bunch. The next category, NBA players who have had multiple triple-doubles and are active players. And the last one is NHL Hurricanes only.
Yeah, give me that NFL Brady Bunch.
Okay. These are all players who share a first name with one of the family members from the Brady Bunch. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Greg Olson, Carolina Panthers.
80.
Incorrect. Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings.
12.
Incorrect. Greg Olson, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
81.
Incorrect. Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings.
9.
Incorrect. Greg Olson, Carolina Panthers.
83.
Incorrect. Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
80.
Incorrect. Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings.
8.
That was a tougher one. By the way, Sam Darnold, it was for Sam the Butcher on the Brady Bunch. So that was the one we were going with. Greg, obviously the oldest son. Mike was the dad's name for Greg Olson and Mike Evans. Greg Olson wore number 88 with the Panthers. Sam Darnold wore 14 with the Vikings. And Mike Evans is number 13 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was an offer, but by way of going first, you are still in the running because if there's double zeros, you end up winning by a tiebreaker. So stay on the line, Jeff. We'll see if it holds up.
That's what I'm counting on. That's what I told Dennis.
All right. We'll see. Did he told you that off air? All right. At least he's self-aware. Hunter and Raleigh, you are up next. Hunter, are you there?
Yep.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that switched positions from college to the pros, NBA players that have had multiple triple-doubles and are still active players, or NHL Hurricanes only? NBA players that have had multiple triple-doubles and are still active. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get rolling?
No.
All right, you need at least one for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtics.
7.
Correct. Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers.
Pass.
Josh Hart, New York Knicks.
Pass.
Incorrect. DeJounte Murray, New Orleans Pelicans.
Pass.
You can't pass.
10.
Incorrect. Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers.
14.
Incorrect. Josh Hart, New York Knicks.
13.
Incorrect. It wasn't a shutout. I said you needed at least one for the win, and you got exactly that. The numbers we were looking for, you got. Jaylen Brown with 7. Kawhi wears number 2 with the Clippers. Ironically, he's also had 2 triple-doubles. Josh Hart wears number 3 with the Knicks. 15 triple-doubles in his career. DeJounte Murray with the Pelicans wears number 5. He's had 20 triple-doubles, and that's what we were looking for. Like I said, you only needed one. That's what you got. So congratulations. You get the half-hour pass at the golf simulator out there at Rush Hour Karting.
Awesome.
All right. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get that prize. Not the most momentum-building way going into the weekend on the numbers game, but at least we avoided the double over. By the way, Jaylen Brown, I don't think I said it, he has 3 triple-doubles. Super surprising that Kawhi Leonard only has 2. Isn't he like a do-it-all player? I guess defense, it's hard to get it with like blocks and steals. I'm just surprised by that. That's what we have going on. We are still awaiting as far as Big Rock because we did the boat names. I'm just going to wait till Dennis gets off the phone because I want to hear his boat name. I don't know what I would name if I got a boat. I don't know. I don't think I'm clever. I'd probably name it something really boring. It would be something like On the Sea or something super duper boring, which is not exciting at all. I like the clever ones. It's fun to walk up and down the docks at a marina and just like the boats that you'll never be able to afford and just see what they're all named, and they're named like, college tuition, or they're they're named like, stock fund or whatever. I don't know. I like finding ones from people that are more clever than I. If you have a good boat name, you can always comment in our YouTube comments. 99.9 The Fan. If you just go to the live stream, search 99.9 The Fan, go to the live stream. I encourage you to do it. We have a good time with it. Subscribe while you're there, and you can comment if you have an awesome boat name. There's really nothing. Is there anything good with my name, Tim Donnelly? No? Any boat puns, nautical puns? I don't think so. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have to make our picks and send you off into the weekend the correct way. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, friends, Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. And as you know, here in North Carolina, summers heat up, and so are those deals at the Clayton Homes Sign and Save event. Right now, you can save up to $5,000 instantly on a brand new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. And you know these homes are built tough in state-of-the-art facilities that protect them during construction. And you know every home is loaded with Energy Smart features, giving you comfort, efficiency, and long-term savings. And with tons of floor plans and fully furnished models, it's easy to find your perfect match. Visit your local Clayton Homes or Oakwood Homes or check out limited-time offers now at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. But don't wait. The Clayton Homes Sign and Save event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster, and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here again from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today we are at Millbrook High School, where we introduce the next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Brianna McMillan.
Day in and day out, just her presence, her energy, her motivation showed her teammates how to follow her. And they nominated her to be captain, and I think that speaks volumes to her as a leader.
She is like one of the leaders on the team, and anytime I see her play, it truly shows in her work and like her athleticism.
She is very uplifting, and she just makes sure if you're ever having a bad day to make your spirit better.
It's unimaginable. I really didn't think I was going to, be one of the 8, which is a huge honor, and I'm really grateful. And I hope I can live up to the honor, and I'm really appreciative for all the people who've nominated me and selected me. It's great. It's a great feeling. As an athlete, it's, you go through mental hurdles and you got to get out of it. But, my family has definitely helped me, supported me to get out of the mental ruts that I've gone through and, made me become a better athlete on and off the field. So I appreciate them.
Congratulations, Brianna.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So we do have to make our picks, send you off into the weekend the way we always do. But we have been updating you on a bunch of things throughout the show. And I understand that some of you weren't in the car a couple of minutes ago when we were doing other updates. So I thought we would we'd continue those updates real quickly here at the top of this segment. For example, looking at the College Baseball World Series, that one has gone final. Coastal Carolina has defeated Arizona in the first action from Omaha. The Chanticleers, the second best chicken mascot in the country. They won 7-4. They out-hit Arizona 14-9. It appears to be a pretty good win for Coastal. So they get the win over Arizona. Starting in about an hour and 15 minutes will be Louisville, Oregon State, where we need the ACC to find a way to get that win. Oregon, kind of the overwhelming favorite. Oregon State, kind of the overwhelming favorite there. So there's updating on that. Updating on the Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament. As it stands right now, the quote-unquote leader in the clubhouse, I guess, as we look it up there. Here we go. For a potential pretty gigantic payout, I think the total, if it all ended right now, would be somewhere in the $1.7 to $2 million range for Bankwalker, the boat, and the angler is Lizzie Montague. They put in they boated a 449.7-pound blue marlin yesterday. However, there has been a boated blue marlin on a boat entitled the Southern Grace at 4:34 p.m. That has not been weighed as of yet. And there's a whole day of fishing to happen tomorrow. So a lot of options out there, but that is literally like millions of dollars on the line for how the fishing takes place over the next 24 hours. And I don't think anyone else is hooked up on a fish.
No one else is
Okay,
hooked up.
cool.
Just Southern Grace boated one, like I said, about an hour and change ago, and that's really about it.
All right, so there's the Big Rock, and then the U.S. Open. We've been updating you with our teed up updates by Wilson Country Club. Experience the history of this must-play course all day. But J.J. Spawn is atop the leaderboard through 14. Not much changing. Sam Burns in second. Thomas Dietrich, Thurston Lawrence tied for third, and Victor Hovland in fifth. And those 5 are the only guys under par. J.J. Spawn 4 under, Burns 3 under, Dietrich and Lawrence tied for 2 under, Hovland 1 under, and everybody else is even or over par.
You would know this better than I am, but I do because I know you're the golf aficionado of the two of us here on the show. But it seems like the U.S. Open is always, it seems like almost very intentional about like, yeah, you're going to struggle.
That is.
Like we're going to make this your life hell on this course.
100%. They want to test the golfers in a different way than some of the other majors, and a lot of that comes with how they maintain the course and how they let the rough get a little aggressive, and the pin placements are tough. But yes, the U.S. Open, they pride themselves on carnage. And also, there is a bit of like historical accuracy there. Like par is supposed to be what, like if you just like in theory of golf, par is supposed to be what the average golfer in the tournament would like. That's the good line, right? So when there's tournaments where everybody is like 30 over and you're missing the cut at 30 under, you're missing the cut at 12 under par. Like that's not necessarily how, old Tom Morris wanted you playing in Scotland back in the 1800s. So some would say the U.S. Open is the most pure, but most would say it's the most painful.
Yeah.
They get their tails kicked out there.
I remember Webb Simpson won at, I think it was +1, if I remember correctly, back in, was it 2012 or 2013, whatever he was. I know he's won at +1. I think Koepka won at +1 as well.
It's really the only major where there's, barring like some unforeseen weather circumstance or something, where an over par. I told you that there was a golfer, and I'm blanking on who the name was. It was on a podcast before the tournament, said they'd sign for a 4 over par right now. Like, if you just told me I played 1 over par golf every single day, I will sign the card right now and accept it, and I like my chances of winning the tournament. That's coming from a PGA Tour golfer. So, yes, the U.S. Open does kick people around a bit. Right now, like the projected cut line is +7. That's pretty. Like, the best golfers in the world, if you play +7 golf, you go 4 over, 3 over in 2 days, you're playing the weekend. That's a good estimate there of how tough things are.
Let's see. I actually pulled up the history of U.S. Open champions. And Angel Cabrera at Oakmont won at +5 back in 2007.
And we should acknowledge
that's insane.
The U.S. Open has the reputation as the hardest major. Oakmont has the reputation of the hardest course in the U.S. Open rotation. Mm-hmm. So like this is the gotcha. This is where you go to get like. You talk to your sports psychologist before playing this one because you're like, what do I do after I hit an 8? I don't usually do that, but Oakmont might make me.
Just remind yourself it's okay.
Yeah, it's Oakmont. Haha. All right, let's get to making some picks. What else do we have? The updates are done.
Okay. Well, let's go right into it. Who wins the U.S. Open?
Now most of the last couple of majors, and I've actually done well with the last couple of tournaments. I just go like, well, Scotty is lurking.
Is he still lurking?
He's lurking-ish. He's he's tied for 26th now, 4 over, 9 strokes off the lead, 8 strokes off the lead, but he's not trailing that many people. I'm gonna go Hovland. Victor Hovland, he's lurking. Victor Hovland is lurking. He is 1 under par in the tournament. He's in 5th. I think he's ready to level up. He's ready to enter a tier of major winner that not many get to. So, Victor Hovland. Boom.
All right, let's go ahead and go to NBA Finals Game 4 tonight, which you can listen to right here on 99.9 The Fan. Oklahoma City Thunder trail the series 2-1 on the road at Indiana tonight.
Thunder. Win. I'm sticking to my guns on this one. The magical mystery charm of what the Pacers have can't win every game. So I am going with a 7-point win for the Thunder. That is a 15-point lead, and it collapses and makes everyone's nervous. And then SGA hits a 3 to make it 7.
Okay.
Because they have to keep it out of one possession. Because if it's one possession, Halliburton's going to get the ball. And He's going to make the shot. So it's crucial that they keep it 2-3 possessions. So that's why 7 is the difference.
By the way, Oklahoma City is favored by 5.5 points in this one.
Given the points, give me the Thunder.
All right, let's go ahead and go to tomorrow. National Hockey League. We have Stanley Cup Finals. Game 5 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Edmonton at home. Moneyline Edmonton is a -125. Florida a +105.
I've been wrong on this series, I think, every game. So take that for what it is. Give me the Panthers. I'm kind of feeling just an alternate from here on out. Just
every other
until Game 7, and then Game 7, obviously anybody can win. I want a Game 7. I think there is something of an advantage to being on the wrong end of the previous game. Like, I think the Oilers had a little bit of an edge because they got beat 6-1, so they're down 3-0, and they've been mad for 3 days, and it all came out in that second period. Now Florida's going to have time to build up their anger because they gave up a 3-0 lead, and that team's going to come out a little bit more furious. Reinhart, he made some impressive plays. Bennett obviously has been playing lights out. I think things will sway their way for 1, then Edmonton, then Game 7 will be an all-time classic.
All right, college baseball. We already have Coastal Carolina with the victory, but Louisville takes on Oregon State tonight in the College World Series. Oregon State is the home team for this one.
Okay.
Oregon State heavily favored, a -200 on the money line.
Oregon State is weirdly like a baseball powerhouse. But Louisville. Have you ever been to Louisville?
No, I have not, actually.
If you walk around downtown Louisville, like the Louisville Slugger Museum, and like there's just bats, like statues of bats, and you're walking like, oh, this tile on the sidewalk is dedicated to Stan Musial, and they're just a baseball town. So give me Louisville for the vibes.
I love it.
Go ACC. I have the score 7-6, a walk-off 2-run shot.
7-6 on the walk.
Are they home? I don't know.
No, they're the away team.
Okay, so a non-walk-off 2-run shot, and then they ended in the bottom.
Closing to the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
And final one here for you. Little Premier Lacrosse League action. The Utah Archers taking on the California Redwoods. 8:30 tonight. Utah, 2-time reigning champs.
You know what? I've said this in the past. That I think one of the only things that humans have, like evolution in most ways, we get better at things over time. I think we've gotten significantly worse at naming teams and coming up with logos.
Yeah.
Like the teams that have been named in the past are awesome. Most teams that have been named, most expansion teams, not great. I thought the Mammoth was good, though. I think the Lacrosse League has done pretty well.
Yeah.
I think California Redwoods is a
great name.
Fantastic. And what is it, Utah Archers?
Yeah.
That's another good one. Not great. I think Mammoth is better for Utah, but solid. So with the only thing knowing that, give me the Redwoods. I like their name a little bit better.
Okay.
Take that. You know what else I like a little bit better? Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. They have an event going on right now. It is a Father's Day event featuring multiple vendors, Tissot, Seiko, Norcane on the watch front. Sweet treats, drinks, snacks, all that kind of stuff there for the event. So stop out. It is today and tomorrow. So if you can't make it out today, tomorrow as well. All about making Father's Day unforgettable with a watch from Fox and Bailey. They have something for every budget as well, right? You want to really make dad feel awesome. You can go pre-owned vintage Rolex. You can go with one of the higher end, more exclusive Omegas, all the way down to you grab a Timex. You can grab a G-Shock. If there's something in the middle, the Hamiltons, or maybe up to the Norcanes, the Nomoses. They've got a lot of different options, and I promise you, if you want to make dad's day, there's something to do it at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. To learn more, you can also follow them on social media, on Instagram. Fox and Bailey Watch Shop is their handle. When you stop in to say hi, just make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim. Coming up next, we do have Overdrive sending you into the weekend, starting with a conversation about a report that the Canes are ready to break the bank for Mitch Marner. Enjoy that and enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Champions are crowned on 99.9 The Fan.
Now a steal, McConnell! Indiana's tied it
Basketball tonight. Indiana, Oklahoma City. The NBA Finals.
Matherin going to pull for three and hit. Matherin with 25 off the bench.
Game 4. Tip-off at 8:30 on your audio home for the NBA Finals.